Welcome, everyone. This podcast was supposed to be a friendly exchange about ideas on the UFO, UAP field, and kind of anything else my guest and I found interesting. What got divulged is some pretty shocking information about some of the folks that are in this field. These are opinions only. Keep that in mind as you listen to this podcast.
I gotta ask you, who is the time traveling Tim Taylor?
See, I don't know about like the I guess the time traveling part, like the Pasolka, like they got kind of stuff. But I do believe that everything that my research and my doings and the stuff that I know in the town that I live in, I do believe that Tim Taylor is. But yeah, listen. Remember that.
Here we go. Ryan.
What's up?
From Ryan Pointing at Failure. Thank you for joining me, man.
What's going on, dude?
Dude, it's been so cool getting to know you and talking to you. That's why I wanted to have you on and get your perspective on a lot of this stuff. So we watched some of your shorts. Hilarious.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. How did you get started in this? What got you started doing this stuff?
I've always been a creative person. I've always been like into, I've always been an artist. I'm a tattoo artist by day. I guess we could say my trade is. That's how I make most of my money is by tattooing. But I've always been an artist. So, but I've always had I've always kind of dabbled in like these little, I'd always make films, when I was younger, like we'd have this big VHS cam, and if you remember those, you do, cause you're right around you're right around my age. Yeah. So I got to have those, and me and my buddy were making claymation videos. And so I always did that. And then in school, we used to do a little bit of stuff, and then it kind of died off. And then whenever the internet, because that was a long time ago, because I'm old, like old, but that was a long time ago. Whenever the internet was really like, there was no YouTube or nothing like that. So whenever YouTube came up, I always wanted to start a channel. And it just got to where I had surgery right before COVID hit. I had surgery in 2019. I had back surgery. So I was down for quite a while, because it's another whole thing. Like a guy kicked in my door like 7 days after I had still had stitches in my stomach. He kicked open my door, and it's just this whole big story. I mean, it's all searchable on.
You're
the
laying
internet.
there with back surgery, and a guy kicks in your door.
All right. I had just moved into a place, right? I just moved into a place about a week before I had surgery. Well, my car, I knew the guy. Like I grew up with the guy that it involved. He lived in across the street from me, and like I said, I just moved there, and he's an alcoholic. He drinks a lot, but so. Right after I had surgery, my car died. I didn't know anybody else around there, but I knew he had lived there. I hadn't been over there and talked to him or anything, but I walked over there at 10 o'clock in the morning and was going to ask him if he'd come and jump my car off because I needed to jump. I was wanting to go to the store, and dude, I'm telling you, just for me to walk over there was enough, dude. It was, you see, there's my scar. They went through my stomach, so I see my fat belly. But yeah, it was so I had a fusion, so he just answers the door and he says, he's like, "What the F are you doing here? Get the F out of here." And like I said, I grew up with the guy. I wasn't we weren't like people that hung out, but I knew him, he knew me, our families know each other. It shouldn't have been like that. It was obviously drinking had done that. Yeah. Well, my ego, dude, at that time, I think of myself as a pretty humble person now, but my ego just doesn't. So I didn't say anything. I was just kind of whatever. And I got to the road, and all of a sudden I'm walking. I hear two shots in the air. He's standing there with a gun in his ear, and he's like, "Don't you ever come in my effing yard." And I don't again. I'm kind of tripping out because I don't know why he's tripping out. All of a sudden my door comes kicking open and I'm 10, 12 feet away from it. And all I see is this guy standing there, and his name's Todd, wearing camouflage pants. He's got a gun on his those holsters that are on your leg. He's got a gun. He's got a holster, and he's got his gun right there in his holster. He's got black gloves on, a black hoodie, and his hoodie's pulled up over here. And he's like, you could obviously tell, he was I could tell he was a little, like either inebriated. And he started, like, right when he kicked in, he started to walk in and say something. And I didn't waste time to listen to what he had to say.
Right.
I just got on him and I choked him out, like completely unconscious. I took his gun and I went and hid it up under my island cabinet at the time.
Wow.
And I called 911. He gets up and he starts screaming at me to give him his gun back and all this. And I'm like, so I put the 911 operator on speakerphone, and I'm like, please tell this guy to leave. And the operator's like, the cops are on the way, sir, please leave. This guy, Todd was screaming and F this, you're going to give me this. And he's steady walking towards me. And like, I had probably like 7-8 feet distance at this time. And he's steady. And I was like, and I told him, he's coming towards me. I'm going to hurt him. And she was like, well, just wait for the cops to get there. Like, don't do nothing because the cops. And I was like, no, he's coming towards me. I'm going to have to do something. And the last thing the woman said was, do what you have to do. And I said, oh, hold on a second. And I hit him. He didn't get up until the cops got there. He shit his pants. It was all over my foyer. It was so he got arrested for first degree burglary, which is a violent crime. And he was looking at 20 years, and he had been in some trouble before, but I had to stand up. I wrote a thing out and read it at his at our court, because he wanted to go to trial. But then he did this thing where the judge was going to judge him. But I read this thing that I basically like said that he got what he deserved. I feel that him going to prison, it wouldn't help him in any. He needs to be like mental.
Wow. Why did you write that letter?
Because, like I said, man. My family grew up with his family. Like his mom was a manager of a complex that I lived in growing up. And my mom knows like his mom, and like they've always known each other. And like Todd's got like issues. He was in a wreck, and I'm not saying that's any kind of like justice for what he had done, because he didn't. But if you see his mug, I'll pull his mug picture up, dude, and just show you like how like he got what he deserved, and like
right.
And the cops, like, I felt kind of bad because the cops were like told him that, like, they were saying, you're not getting, like, telling me he wasn't getting in his car because he shit himself and pissed himself. And like, they were making fun of him and stuff. And it was kind of overboard. I was down for about a year. I wasn't right even because that was 7 days after my back surgery that happened. So I guess the reason that I started doing content is because I was stuck basically doing nothing, and I wanted to, just better myself. And then like I was off of drugs at the time. I was a heroin addict for 15 years. I guess but I basically come out that and I needed something to like fill my time with. And so creative outlets is the best way to do it. And
kudos to you for kicking that. I
appreciate it.
That's success rate's not very high on that one. So thank God you're around.
But like what the one trade off for it is, like I was a drug addict, and I was, I wasn't ever like you would say like a piece of shit, or like I wouldn't steal, like I always had money, I always worked for myself, but I was a junkie, dude. But like now how I am manic about my YouTube and my content, and how I feel like the feeling when you work so hard on this project and you get 6 views. 12 views, man. I'm telling you, dude, that it makes you want to do drugs. It makes you I've gotten depressed, like off of it. Very discouraging. It's depressing, and people don't realize that. And then when you get that comment by, "Hey, dude, you suck, man," like you're just like, "Thanks, bud." Like not that I want to kill myself before, but thanks for that comment.
I've never gotten one of those comments. I don't know.
Yeah, well, because you're a nice guy. You're a nice guy.
I've got plenty of those comments, dude.
I'm surprised because there's some son of a bitches, dude.
You had the Brian's pointing at failure videos. When you started out, what were you primarily doing then?
Okay, so the very first ones I ever did, the very first one I ever uploaded was a drum cover. It was recorded about a month or two before I recorded a few of them. About a month or two before I had my back surgery. And then so I was like, let me upload those. So I first uploaded those, and they got hit with copyright strikes because I was going to start doing drum covers. I had it all planned out, dude. I'm telling you, I had it laid out. I used to got my drums right here, and I had going to do that. And then I got hit with copyrights every single one of them. I'm discouraged. So I was like, what am I going to do? So I started doing these date site videos, and like I said, I don't know if you're going to pop one in there or whatever it is, but
date site videos. We are going to pop one in.
they're real. Those are real raw, and those are like I guess they would almost like the Dunning-Kruger effect, like it played in on me because like I edited a video, so I'm a professional. I can do it all. Like that's how my mentality was, and that's how I really go at everything. Is like I don't know how it's gonna get done, but it's gonna get done.
Absolutely.
You know, and if people thought like that, and if because everybody, I've heard more people say, dude, I want to start a YouTube channel. Like, here's what it's going to be about. Dude, can you imagine if they say that? And all I say to them now is, why aren't you doing it? Like, because that's all it is. It takes is just start a channel. Who gives a crap what people say? It's just getting what you want to say to the world, your message out. So it is documented that you're either cool with this or whatever your stuff's about. But you know,
Absolutely.
YouTube is a beast itself, dude. So
somebody will connect with that, even if it's just your own grandchildren, you know?
Yep. And that's another thing, leaving something, like if something happened to me, I would want something like, you know, my friends could at least remember me. And that's like saying that I would care, that my friends would care to remember me, or like my family or my son or something that he could say, hey, this was my daddy. Like then maybe he could be proud of what I've done. You know, I mean, I haven't really achieved much, but you know what I'm saying? But like, I'm proud of my little channel, and I work hard on it, and I work hard on myself, and like anybody who does, like I will help. That's why, you know, like you, dude, I'll help you with anything you ever need help with, dude, just cause I can tell you're passionate about it, and you're an honest guy, and you're cool, and you're like, you're not judgmental, and you're, like I say, I see you're going to go far on YouTube. It's 100% guarantee you will go far on YouTube.
I appreciate that, man.
As long as you stick at it, and you just keep going with the sense of inquisitiveness or whatever you want to say, like wanting to get the answer and stuff. Then you're going to create like-minded people that want that answer too. And me, like I was where you were, you know, like a little while back. Oh well, you know, years back, right? Like right when I started YouTube, I was kind of on the fence. You know, I had done like I was studying hypnosis at the time. And that was another thing. During my back surgery, that time off, like I got a certificate in hypnosis. I became a hypnotist.
Hypnosis.
Yes. And then I started doing hypnosis videos. I have another channel, and then that's the brain plug. And I don't pay as much attention to it as I should. And I'm going to start uploading more content, and you know, and it deserves to be, you know, more content, because I believe like educational
and that's
content.
A lot of educational stuff on that channel too, right?
Oh yeah, it's all educational. It's all educational, or hypnosis, or like there's a couple of magic tricks. I do like magic tricks and stuff like that. And then I like there's I dabbled like all down these rabbit holes. That's why I was laughing that when we was talking about rabbit holes, you know, the other day. I go like, dude, I've been down so many just on YouTube, and before YouTube, oh man, like the internet was I was just enthralled in everything.
Yes, there are so many. Like just insane. Have you ever gone down the golden thread?
Well,
Oh, well, that's one you'll have to go down one day.
What is it?
To you. Well, it's the golden thread was this rumored kind of corner of the internet where intelligence people that were very deep into it would post random messages at random times.
Yeah, I never heard of
using some kind of code that just came out on Reddit. I can't even believe that Corbell and we'll get into that. But anyway, all right. So let's get to we were talking about your educational channel and the hypnosis stuff. From hypnosis, what's like the craziest thing you think you learned from hypnosis?
Well, I guess getting that subject, I would say that like a lot of people think that hypnosis is this mind control, this way to create like a Manchurian candidate. And although, yes, it theoretically on paper, it is possible. But it would take a whole lot of conditioning, a whole lot of just mental, breaking somebody down and just to rebuild them, and then constantly feeding them some kind of narrative that would benefit them to why they would want to kill somebody or something like that. So like if I was to put you in hypnosis and I couldn't tell you to go kill somebody because being in hypnosis isn't like being asleep. It's not like, it doesn't feel like anything. It just feels like you're just really relaxing. You're just listening, and you're just really chill, but you don't think you're hypnotized, but you don't really remember it after the fact. Kind of like the example I'd given before about driving down the highway, and then like you're like, wait a minute, how did I don't remember getting this far. I don't remember driving the past 3-4 miles. How have I not hit something? But your body, because you're driving and your body, it automatically knows that if there's any kind of danger, it's going to trigger your conscious mind to act and, to turn. But as long as there's nothing changed, because you know how to drive, it's built into your, because it becomes almost like a part of you when you start driving, that you can think about stuff and you're still watching the road. But we tend to forget that we're watching the road and we're thinking about something else. We've got something on our mind, and you just don't think about the time that had passed. But you're definitely were safe, because like your brain and the way your subconscious works is like, it's kind of always on call. It's always looking for things that are changing. And if a thing's changing, it's like, hey, there's a car right there, Ron. Yeah. And then you come out of it, but you don't feel like anything different. So for me to say hypnosis, that if anybody ever says like, hey, can I hypnotize you? Or you ever want to participate in hypnosis, do it. Don't be afraid of it. Don't think that somebody's going to control your mind, or you're opening up your mind for demons and people are going to be able to get in. That's completely false. It doesn't work that way. I wish it did. It would be the reason I got into it, to be honest, is because I thought it did. I wanted to be able to do that. I wanted to be able to look and to be able to be like, hey, not in a nefarious way, but maybe just like, hey, slip me a 20, or
sure, why not?
Programming, which is just like George Knapp and people like that use these, and it's just being, if you repeat a word enough times, in a sentence, like if that scumbag, like if I was talking about somebody, I'm like, oh yeah, scumbag, and every time I refer to him like scumbag, and maybe once I'm like, oh yeah, Jim, the scumbag. Eventually, after a time of me doing that enough time, it's in your brain. It's going to be like, that guy's a fucking scumbag, or like, or maybe you don't know him, but you're going to be you're going to be on guard. But Jim, hold on, wait a minute. I remember something about to be a scumbag or something, like you would instantly trigger that. And that is
that connection.
You're going to automatically put that, like, I don't know why I shouldn't like Jim, but I remember, like, you might not even remember of that saying, because it's so subtle. And those are like little, like nested loops. And there's a lot of nuances to it. And it's really clever. And it's really a lot of most advertisements and stuff like that are done like using neurological linguistic programming and keywords and just target like words that make your imagination like I was to give you one that was like, imagine this. If somebody says imagine this, you really have no choice but to imagine it. And if somebody says like, don't think about a pink elephant, you're definitely thinking about a pink elephant. There's no you have to. It's there's ways that people can play into that kind of stuff to get you to. Hypnosis is taking, like, if you're afraid of spiders, we're taking a good memory. I'm taking you back to how you felt that spider made you feel, and I want you to be cringy. And then I'm going to instantly take you back to that time that you were happy in your spot. And then I'm going to take you back to terrorize you again with the spider where you're scared. And then you're able to change that. You're able to change those states instantly. And if you do that enough times, jumping back and forth, you're eventually going to replace that phobia with your good feelings and that bad feeling of like, why? Because everything that happens to us, like, let's say if you're scared of spiders, if you're scared of, I hate spiders, I don't mind snakes, but if you're deathly scared of snakes, something happened in your life. Yeah. Or like, there's some people that are deathly afraid of dogs, right? And so what had happened, like maybe that person, a dog, like when they were little, like they don't know why they're afraid of dogs, but maybe a dog scared the crap out of them, or their mom or dad they flipped out because a dog was around, and it scared the child. The child doesn't know why it doesn't like the dog, but it just knows that my mom. It associates that with fear. So if you could change that, replace that fear with a good thought, then that's what hypnosis is doing. That kind of like, that's how they get people to quit smoking, is a whole little thing with it. But it's very
supposed
helpful.
To be a good positive thing.
Yes, it's very good. It's very positive. Yes.
Yeah. And it's, you mentioned MK Ultra, and, even those folks running MK Ultra, they couldn't do it with just hypnosis. They realized that they couldn't do it with just drugs. They couldn't do it with just hypnosis. They had to, it was like this mixture of things, They even put an implant in somebody at one point to try to remote control them. And then they drove this other poor woman crazy because she was going to be the first one that had an implant that they could control without wires. They could control her wirelessly. And the one photo you can find of her online is her in a one of those padded rooms, literally.
Oh yeah, crazy room. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't put
really
it.
unfortunate.
I don't put it past our government to be involved in a lot of nefarious things. In fact, I will guarantee that we know that they have, like, I did a video
Right.
on my channel. I think it's on the Brain Plug, but it's about the whenever they injected all the people in all the black people in here in Alabama with radioactive stuff. And then they're doing all experiments on black people, and it was our government doing it. Oh no, they gave him syphilis. They gave him syphilis.
The Tuskegee.
Yes. I done it. Yeah, I done a little short on that, and it didn't get no views or anything. But yeah, I thought that was like completely wrong, and they didn't have no problem doing it. That's what's wrong, dude. Like that.
Yeah.
Like,
that's when you go back to that old footage where they have some of these doctors that at least were still alive on camera, like they didn't care. You know, they just flat out didn't care. In fact, I have a video clip of one doctor. He's the news person's asking him, you know.
CIA documents show that the agency was interested in developing mind control methods of its own to precondition and control Chinese living in this country to be sent back to their homeland as CIA agents. What do you think they were looking for?
Well, I think they weren't looking for agents or anything like that.
Yet the agency's perception of the work you were doing, in CIA documents we have examined, it says that the project that was being done here, they intended to use everything learned about the new agents to induce them to, quote, to perform acts of a complex, purposeful nature.
Yeah, but that was never done.
The effects of which may be out of keeping with the individual's previous
sort
behavior.
of thing was never done. Those people were not. That was when they first came here. The first people they sent up to see us, you see, were operational type people from the CIA with some rather wild ideas.
Okay, this is their perception of it. If I could just continue.
No, it wasn't their perception of it either. No, it wasn't.
Dangerous to his being, contrary to any previous consciously expressed intentions and interests, contrary to the good of the individual, and subversive to the goals for which he is consciously working.
I understand all this talk. But the situation was, you see, those things were never done because of wise people on both sides. We were not able to do this nor interested in it.
They were, though.
Some of the low-level people were, but the high-level people were not. To tell you the truth.
But documents clearly show that the CIA was attempting to develop agents over whom they had as much control as possible.
You know, what was there any concern about using this stuff on Americans that didn't know they were having this stuff done to them? And he's just flat out no.
Yeah, because they think of it as like they're advancing science or advancing humanity. And in a way, I can't get down with it, but I can't, I'm not wanting to sound like I'm trying to side with anybody, but like there's got to be a certain level of something. But this is where like all these problems come in, like with, you know, politics and how things get done and people's feelings and all that stuff. Like,
yes,
I don't believe that we should be experimenting on like humans or anything, or giving, you know, dogs, letting fleas eat their head, like you know, like some of the claims like Fauci.
Supposed to be laws against it.
Yeah, that's why they do it in other countries and stuff, because they can get away with it. But yeah, that's what Dr. Fauci is being claimed, and he admits there,
really?
Like there's he let experiment that sand fleas ate some beagles' heads and just to see, and they cut their vocal cords just so to see what it would do to the dog. It's a messed up. It's well documented.
For the love of,
that guy should be in prison, and he really should be in. And I mean, from what I've seen, and it could be propaganda and all this, but just the things I've known, he said, like the mask, and then going back on this and saying this, and then when COVID wasn't as bad as they had it, it was more for the older people. And I don't want to get into, like, I know how that's kind of a sore subject, and like, so I'm not like,
well, there's just so much back and forth and so much mixed messaging, and it just seemed like you couldn't even have a debate about it. You know,
they suppressed it
down any debate about it, and that's like a red flag.
They done a good job of making us not want to take the vaccine because of the stuff that they were doing, like changing the definition of a vaccine, like changing or calling this one. I think they have to call it. Don't they call it gene therapy now, or is it still called a vaccine? I don't think they can call it a vaccine. because I know when I was growing up, a vaccine, like I know when I got my vaccines, like I can't get measles anymore. I can't get like all these other things because I've had them. Like, so that's not a vaccine if you can get it again, you know? So
right.
What I believe, and I'll always believe it. And like I said, that is my theory, you know, that it was a man-made virus, and it was released on us for a reason, and it was to get Donald Trump out of the office, make him look bad, and to get mail-in ballot. You don't even have to put that in there or anything.
Hold on.
I believe that it was, because this is like, I don't know. I've never even told anybody this right here, but all right. We knew about COVID. Like, I believe it was like February. It was January, February of like 2020, right? I got sick. I've already had COVID 3 times now, right?
Okay.
I've had it, actually, we'll say 4, because the time I'm talking about right now, I'm certain it was COVID. I got sick about 2 months before COVID had even been had been on the news. But I found out that it had been going on in China for quite a while before, like, people started hearing about it before it jumped over here. I think, and I don't, it doesn't matter. You can ask anybody. I got sick the same way I got sick whenever I got COVID and got tested and knew I had COVID. I was sick that time 2 months before you even heard of COVID, of patients, you know, the first patient here in the United States with COVID. So I believe it was dropped. It was probably poisoned by, well, actually, my landlord at the time, dude, was married to a Chinese woman. This is crazy. They lived in Wuhan, dude.
They lived in Wuhan.
He actually moved back to. They were from the area of Wuhan. There's like the little whatever they call the little thing there. My old he was married to, you know how you can get melon brides and stuff like that. Well,
okay.
Well, anyway, his wife, and she hated him, dude. This guy, did I tell you about the guy who was taking the pictures of the clouds who got fired from NASA?
Yes.
Because he was going around telling people, he's going around telling people like there's devil in the clouds, and all he would do all day was look at these clouds and change the contrast on them, and he would see stuff like homosexual stuff and like just really odd stuff, and like,
so
I just figured it
was mail-in bride.
Yeah, so he has a mail-in.
Not shocking.
I guess you'll call it, but she hates him, dude. And so like, when one time she got put in a mental institution because she said that the Chinese government was putting stuff up under her house to listen to her. So anyway, I almost think that she probably maybe is a spy or something, or works for the government, and was maybe dosing people off with it, dude. And I don't want to, I don't want to sound like, and it's probably not, I'm probably crazy, dude. But there's a part of me that will always, because I promise you, before you ever heard of COVID, before I didn't even come here, I had COVID, dude. I know for a fact I had COVID. I can't prove it, but I know because I've had it before. And the way I get it, when I get it, it's 24 hours to 48 hours of the worst headache, the worst backache. And I feel like, it almost feels like it's man-made. It feels like a man-made, like a substance. Like it was so unnatural, but like my body, I guess, was able to like kick it pretty quick. But, and I will always, I had COVID. I guarantee you, dude.
So you think not an animal wet?
No, because
whatever they were saying, not a lab leak, but an intentional.
Do you know who Patient Zero was?
I have no idea. I don't think. Does anybody know who Patient Zero was?
Oh yeah, they got Patient Zero was a scientist at the Wuhan lab.
That's been well.
He
was just eating across the street.
Yeah, but see, the thing about it is, it's like mainstream media would never tell you that. Like, but it's well documented. You can go look. You can go look to say anything I'm telling you. You can go look. If I'm wrong,
we'll put it up.
Patient Zero was so, like, not to think that it came from that is would be like, that's a stretch. You know, that's like one of those. That's like the Occam's razor. You know, like you hear hoof prints outside. You don't think zebra, dude. You think horse. Yeah. You know, like
I think the mainstream media. A lot of people have saw what they did over COVID, and I know in particular I saw how they kind of tried to do Joe Rogan dirty with, like, they literally altered his picture and were telling people he was taking horse tranquilizer and all this stuff, when like millions of people in the world have taken this drug. I think a lot of people, that woke a lot of people up to like mainstream media and misinformation. And you interviewed a dude, Vim Miller, who mainstream media immediately blasted as the would-be Trump assassin.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
This guy was gonna blow up Trump with shotguns, and how he managed to sneak shotguns in is beyond me. Folks will have to watch your interview.
But I recommend it. It's good. Pretty good.
How was that? How did that change your perspective? Meeting Vim and that interview with him.
It was it was kind of like one of the things, like when we talked about like being YouTubers, like we reach out to people because we want to collab, we want to get our voice out there, we want to get heard. So like I've messaged, like, told you I've messaged like quite a few people and trying to get interviews and stuff. Well, like I instantly heard the story and I knew right off the bat, because like I looked up Ben Miller right whenever I seen the news article, because you can show. I'll send you the thing so you can post it on here. But it's the sheriff. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's all like, it's the Trump. He's like, and Ben's suing him. But so anyway, like I immediately knew that something was up, because this guy was already a Republican. There was pictures of him at the Republican National Convention. There was pictures of him with Trump Jr.
Right.
And they were saying that he's was trying to murder Trump. And like I was like, no, there's something wrong. So I sent him a message on X, dude. I just like a shot in the dark. Hey man, look, dude, I just saw this. I believe I believe that you had nothing to do with that. I know you're Republican, and I just put out my case. And like, man, like a couple hours later, he sent me a message and was just like, yeah, man, I'll let you interview me. And it took a couple days after that, because he was kind of, I don't know if he was going to look at my channel just to see if I wasn't going to clown him, if I wasn't like trying to harm him. And then so I done an interview with him, and he's a super talented guy, and he loves his country. I don't agree with 100% of everything he says, but for the way he is on stuff, he's definitely a good person. He wasn't there to do any kind of Trump harm or anything like that. So he's supposedly suing that guy that it's not Joe Arpaio, but I forgot the guy's name. But yeah, they did him wrong, man, because they blasted him as like, because everybody was like,
oh, it was everywhere.
Oh yeah, everywhere. Third, yeah. So if he does sue him, but he's also, his name's Ben Miller, and like I'll give you a link or something down to his IMDb.
We'll put his stuff up. Yeah,
he's done some really good documentaries, and he's known for like making, like, I think he said he made this one documentary that he's got. It's really, really good. It was done for under $100, and it's like it's like quality of like super great quality. The editing is sharp and it's on edge. So he's got good things going on, and like, but there,
for the record, what does he say happened there?
All right. He said that, whenever all right, this is where I don't agree with them on this thing right here. He's one of these sovereign citizens. I think his license may be one of those licenses that says like F you, this is, so I don't have to have a license.
Oh boy.
It might be, I could be wrong, but it might have. But either which way, he told the cop, he came to a checkpoint. It was a second checkpoint. The cop asked him, like if we were on his window, and he said, the first thing he said was, hey, officer, just want to let you know I have my vehicles, because he was going to Trump rallies, what he was doing.
Okay.
And because he was following Trump as he was going on his campaign and stuff. So he told the cop, he was like, hey, just want to let you know I got guns in the back. I know I'm coming in this perimeter. Like, I got guns in the back. They're put up, they're not loading, all that stuff. And the cop like instantly was like, guns, huh? And like they went, he said they were just they were like, you're trying to kill the president. And they were like yeah, he has the body camera footage of it. They treated him like scumbag, and he deserves to see his day in court and to get justice, because they painted him out to be something he's not. But yeah, Ben's a good dude. Check him out.
The sovereign citizen thing, I mean, who knows about that, but he's been supporting Trump, going to all these rallies, and for him to get
pictures with them too, like, right,
crazy,
like hugging Trump, like Junior, like homeboys with him, like, oh, he wants to kill the president. They didn't even. Nobody took the time to vet that. The cop just was thinking like, hold on, like maybe something else they can like make a controversy or make a headline about, something about Trump in the headline. Yeah, more people don't like him. Look, they want to kill them. It's probably one of the things.
Yeah. Kind of dirty stuff. Like that's the state we're in, where people are cops are trying to get viral.
Yeah, I hear that politics is really super dirty. Like maybe we get some dirty comments and stuff like that, but I imagine like politics is way worse. Like You got to
That's
be a
why
scumbag.
it's like I changed up my format so I can just talk about whatever I want to now. It's still like UFOs, aliens up here, like politics way
And see,
like down where my feet are. Is it's easier to sell a dream than it is to sell reality sometimes, right? And
yep.
I want it like everybody else wants it, right? I want the dream like everyone else. Like in my last video, Steven Spielberg wants it, but even Spielberg is like, look, nothing's ever happened to me. It's as far as I know, it's just movies and fantasy at this point. But we all have to admit there's something weird going on. Whether it's aliens or not, I don't know. But there's weird stuff happening in the sky. I think a big huge influx of it is probably satellites and stuff like that. And then also just the awareness of it and more phones catching glares and stuff like that. So I get that whole side of it.
But see,
we'll
I don't ever.
that.
Yeah, I would say like as far as
because,
that, like I know there's aliens in the I know there's aliens. Like I do believe that there's life forms in the universe as a whole. There's probably a lot.
Like
there's probably a lot of stuff. But I don't think they're coming here. I think that we're wanting people to think they are, or then people like the governments want people to think we are. So we chase those red herrings and don't stay on because dude, we have been pounding loose so much, dude. Didn't he just retire or something, or get off the board or something, or got out of ATIP or not ATIP, but whatever he was in now. I think he stepped down or something. Him and somebody else did. Yeah, I'd have to look up.
Well, there was To the Stars.
Yeah, no, this was just the other day. This was like yesterday.
So he left, so this would be like his third or fourth one. He's shifted from since he's been kind of doing this.
Yeah, let me check.
Now, while you're thinking about that or looking that up, I wanted to ask you about one of your other videos about this doctor that Biden pardoned.
Okay.
So I know you talked a little bit about your recovery, and how that's been, and thank God that you got through that and you're here now. And this doctor that kind of got you on this road of opiates and kind of down that road, he gets major time, as he should, because it turned out he was running like a pill factory, right?
The biggest, one of the biggest in South. They say the biggest in the Southeast United States. Okay, I think there's maybe one or two in Florida. One of the biggest prescription writers ever. Yeah,
right. And again, not to be political, but this guy was pardoned by President Biden.
Yeah,
dude,
he's part of this. I don't know if you see on the news now, but they're wanting to do away with the auto pen stuff because they're saying that Biden wasn't doing that. Like I will tell you now that that man, his name is Dr. Shailen Agarwal.
For the group, what's auto pen?
Okay, auto pen would be like if you're famous and you have to write your signature is required for a lot of things, like fans deserve like the president's signature. Well, they have the president, they do a perfect thing of the president's signature, and it can just replicate it over and over. So you put a piece of paper under it and it writes it for it, the signature for you.
So if you're watching Pawn Stars and they talk about, is this the authentic or gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And see, so what they say is going on with that is if anybody, if they have access to Biden's auto pen, people could people in his cabinet could have been like, hey guys, $1 million and you're going to get a pardon. 1,500 pardons on the day he's going out. That's a little strange. Like that might like guys like red flags here. There's something going on. And I do believe that they should look into it, because if it's a pay to play kind of thing, put him back.
Absolutely.
He's like I said, I encourage you, viewers or anybody, if you want to go watch, that video. Well,
we're gonna put the link down below.
Okay, go
for sure.
Yeah, go watch that. And like, I'm not wanting to say like I'm responsible for my own actions. I don't want to ever say that I'm not. And like I was a heroin addict, but I got started because this guy was writing me, and I loved it at the time. I was on pills. I loved that he would write, but
that's legitimate back.
A little bit legitimate back, and then he would just give me like 150 Roxy 30s, and then 150 Oxycontin 40s, and then 150 methadone tablets and Xanax.
I mean,
to go
that's
along with
dangerous.
That's enough for that's enough for a couple like months, enough that nobody should ever get that. And he was everybody got it there.
it's certainly going to make you physically addicted to this, whether you want to be or not.
I didn't want to live for a long time in my life, dude. I gave up pretty much on my life, and I got man, I'm telling you, I got really bad, dude. It was almost like where my family they don't remind me of it and stuff like that, but they will show me a picture sometimes and be like, look,
Sure.
and I'll send you I've got a picture. I'll send you a picture that we could show the viewers. Like I went into rehab weighing 143 pounds. And I weigh right now, I always stay at about 185, 180. I always have a pretty good solid frame. I showed you my fat gut right there, but that's my dad bod.
That's the dad bod, buddy.
Dude, women dig this right here.
I'm telling you.
I know you know.
I got the hottest wife out there. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Did he go in after you were clean or while you were still in the darkness?
He got arrested in I think it was 2014 or 2017. He got arrested. He went into federal. He got sentenced to 17 years, I think. And again, we can bring I can bring the thing over here, but it was like 17 years in federal prison, and he only went in like a couple, like he got arrested like in like we'll say 2014. He didn't go to trial and all that stuff and get sentenced for like 2019. And then he got a pardon, like almost. And they said right now he was in a halfway house, waiting for his pardon. That's what I thought was weird.
Wow.
That's what I read on the thing. I got the document somewhere.
So he was basically knowing he wasn't going to go full on into prison the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, or it's just one of these things like, hey, man, I have a lot of money because he made a lot of money. He's like, I got a lot of money, and who do I have to give it to make sure I get one of those pardons that old guy that don't know what he's doing? How much to get him to give me one of those? Because they say that they even said that Giuliani was selling pardons for Trump. Like, I don't know that. I didn't see it. I didn't see the Biden, like that. But like, I know the scumbag doctor that I did I don't know why he's getting a pardon.
Yeah. Giuliani, that's another one where that's a guy that, gosh, after 9/11, I don't think you could have looked at a mayor in a higher light.
He was the best. He was the best. Like,
and I don't know what happened.
My mom's a New Yorker. She's my family. I have family that lives in New York. Yeah, I've lived in New York.
He cleaned up New York City. You can argue all you want about the tactics, but it got done, and people were happy, and people were able to walk on the streets again.
Yep.
9/11 happened. I don't think anyone could have responded better than he did. And then I don't know. A fall from grace.
Yeah, looking at him and whenever like doing the hypnosis stuff, like I learned a lot about body language and micro expressions and like a lot of like eye patterns. There's ways that like it's not 100% true that like when somebody looks this way that they're lying. It's where you gotta do what they call baseline, basically. Like, so I'd ask you some questions that I know you know the answer to, or that I know the answer to, and just to basically see where your eyes are gonna go, and then I'm gonna ask you questions following that's going to make you think. And if you look a certain way, that means that you are accessing that part of your brain for imagination. And then this part that remembers memories.
Wow.
Like real events. And the same thing, you look with your ear, and you can go and watch a lot of these things. And like, you can just by people thinking, you can tell what they're doing. Like if they go to here, it's something that is auto. I give you the thing on it. It's like auto. And then if they go down here, it's a kinesthetic, like they remember touch and feeling. But anyway, like, so, but I got with that by saying like
fascinating stuff, man.
And also being that he's like, I was a drug addict, and I know he's like to be on drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. Like, I believe that he's an alcoholic, dude. I believe that like he drinks a lot, and I believe it has skewed his decision making. Because did you ever watch his interviews he did where he's sweating so bad, and the color of his hair was like coming like,
yes,
he was tanked, almost like Jim Cramer. Dude, he is tanked every night he gets on there. He is tanked, dude.
And he would sometimes say things where you're like, what?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, Jim Cramer's another one. I memed him to death, dude.
Oh, I love your Jim Cramer videos. Again, check them out. They're amazing. So you did the hypnosis thing, and you did the magician thing for a minute, right?
Yeah, I kind of like that was kind of in its. The reason I was doing the like learning like the NLP and then the hypnosis and all that stuff was to better my magic routine, and I had these card tricks and magic tricks and stuff like that. And so, you know, like
so the magic was first.
It was kind of all. It was kind of a together. Like I got interested in it, and then I started learning card tricks, and then I started like studying hypnosis, and I got in this little hypnosis college online, and then took all their courses, got my certificate and stuff. And then like I didn't ever want to practice hypnosis. I didn't ever want to be a hypnotherapist. I don't want to hear people's problems. I don't want to help people's problems. I just want to be able to know how people are thinking without knowing what they're thinking, but knowing like what state of mind they're in and how. Like, because if you know that, you're ahead of the game. If you know that a person, if you can get a person, like if you can build rapport with a person and get them like mimicking your body language, like if you sit down and you put your leg up and they do that, dude, they are in rapport with you. You can pretty much, that person likes you and they are in with you. So you can not manipulate, but you have better, a better chance of getting what you want out of, not in a bad way or just whatever, like friendship or whatever out of somebody like that by just saying and knowing what state of mind somebody's in and how to bring somebody out of that.
Amazing. You pick that up from hypnosis. And if you go back to like I think it was the late 70s, I want to say, with How to Win Friends and Influence People. You ever hear about that book? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh gosh, what was that author's name? Dale Carnegie.
Dale Carnegie,
yes, Dale Carnegie. Dale Carnegie. So just like I mean, it makes you wonder if that's what he was doing was just kind of like commodifying a form of hypnosis. You know, like copy people's body language, talk how they talk, sit how they sit.
It is so powerful, man. Like I'm telling you, it is powerful in a way of like of being able to influence people, because I'm telling you, it's like 2/3 of all people are somnambul, like not somnambulistic. That means sleepwalker, but that's another form of hypnosis. They go to deep state, but that's different.
Right.
But most people are like they're the brain, like the kind of person that can play Dungeons and Dragons and they can put themselves in this reality that's not existing, and they're able to you know, like and go with it. Those are the best people that are in hypnosis, as long as they're not fighting. Because nobody that wants to be, if you don't want to be hypnotized, if somebody's like, you can't hypnotize me. No, you're right, I can't, because you've got to want it. You've got to. It's not like I'm hypnotizing you. I'm just guiding you in a relaxing state to show you that you can tap into this little state that you can remember stuff without even really knowing that you're remembering it, and it locks in more emotionally. And more hits you with like I said, like, oh man, I know that means something to me. Like, why do I get a warm feeling when I hear Ryan's name? You know, because like somebody, and it also happens with like touching people. You could embed, it's embedded commands, basically. Like you go up to your wife and you can go up to your wife and touch her shoulder and be like, hey baby, I love you. And then every time, and go up to her a couple times and just touch her shoulder. Every time you do it, the same way. Hey baby, same shoulder. Hey baby, I love you. Pretty soon you've built in kind of like the Pavlov's dog, you know, thing. Like it's a behavior. So right whenever you touch your wife's shoulder, she's going to get that feeling of like you love her, because just by that feeling, because she's attaching those two together. And it's but that kind of stuff is so powerful. If you could attach stuff, man, you're ahead of the game and you're going to be getting what you wanted. Because some of these people are of hypnotists. Like, I don't consider myself like an excellent hypnotist or anything like that. I'm not. I can put people under and stuff like that. But there are some people that are good, dude. They are like phenomenal.
You show me, and I'll put
Darren Brown.
Yeah, I'll put Darren Brown's link to that video we watched down there. Crazy.
Mark Savard. Mark Savard's another one to check out on YouTube. Mm-hmm. He does a Las Vegas show. But dude, yeah, it's the way he does a show is genius. Is genius.
That's insane.
But one thing, let me say one thing about this right here. These people, they will tell you that hypnosis is nothing special. These magicians will tell you, I'm not doing anything. This isn't magic. I can't really read your mind. These are parlor tricks. These are little gimmicks that we have come up with, and psychological tricks that we know how things work, and we can manipulate the situation into our outcome. And that's what mentalism is. That's what magic is, hey, I'm the magician. I control the outcome. You don't really know what's going on, because I tell you what's going on. I tell you when when it's over. So as long as you could keep that control, then man, you could. If I could put that in my videos, like I want to, and if I think it would be unstoppable if you could get it in there right.
Yeah, I mean, well, hey, you look at the giant networks, right? They've got it to a science. They know so much so that like when they're going to go to commercial break for the hook, right? Like when it's coming, but still
they just changed that. They just changed that. Put that on YouTube. Is that the new YouTube feature that they're using the AI to put the video to put the ad in the right during the climax of your video?
Really?
Yeah, I thought that's what you were talking about. Yeah, they just.
Well, I had to switch to premium because I was getting sick of the ads.
Yeah, like I had premium. I just didn't like renew it, stuff like that. But like, there's a the AI. But there's a thing on if you look on Studio, it's down. It's down. If you scroll to the bottom of Studio, there's a thing you can go watch, and it tells you about this new feature that they're going to start putting. It's for monetized, so they're going to start putting your AI is going to watch your video, and it's going to put the best where people are going to watch the most and have the highest retention, and they're going to put the ad there. So when your people are going to be like, yeah. So some people are not happy about it. But
so but I mean that's what network's been doing for.
Yep.
God.
Yeah, it was always man-made. For a long time, it was always man doing that. Now it's computers going to be doing it.
And so it's going to get even more dialed in. Down to the millisecond, right when you're right at that peak. Yep. That is fascinating, man. So you got this history of hypnosis study. You got this history of being a magician, which I imagine gives you a lot of insight into body language and folks' agendas kind of when they enter a room, right?
Man, I like to say that I'm, I think I'm the best in the world at telling if people are lying and micro expressions and reading people. And like I said, it's not a gift. It's not anything special. It's not anything like, I just pay attention. And like, I had this theory, like, go ahead.
Oh, it's a learned skill. It's a skill that you've learned.
Yeah. So I had this theory that like, talent isn't like, how they say people are born with like this innate talent to like an awesome drummer or an awesome guitarist. Really, what talent is being able to sit down and focus enough to want to get good enough at something, to put all your not all your time, but your time and effort into caring about that and wanting to be the best at it. Talent makes you sit down and be that person, because I don't think I was ever born with like some kind of natural talent. I think I'm a great drummer. I'm a great guitarist. I can't sing for shit, those are things that took me a very long time to learn how to do. Like, I'm able to focus all my time and effort in my energy into that one thing. And talent is just like being able to really do that, hone in to become good at something. And when you become good at something, being humble, like being able to be humble about it and not boastful and braggadocious or anything. And
right.
And like I said, I don't ever even tell people I play music or anything like that. I don't know people like, I don't ever tell people my friends. I don't tell people to watch. I don't tell my family to watch my content. I don't send it to my friends. I don't advertise it on Facebook. I do sometimes if it's like I'll put like 1 million viewed or something, million overall views. I ain't got that yet, but I'm fixing to, but I'll put a couple of markers.
You're getting close. Some of your shorts for sure.
Yeah, I'm actually like 25,000 away, I think, from a million. And then I got close to, I got maybe over 2 million on TikTok.
That's amazing, dude. So and so it is, talent will take you so far, but it takes that passion and that commitment and that focus to really take it to the next level. Like even the most naturally talented, gifted athletes, that get the free ride through college, even those cats,
they work their ass off.
Yep, and out of those guys, only the cream of the crop of those guys make it through to the pros. So it's not just talent, it's focus and dedication. And he clearly mastered that.
I wouldn't say master, but I mean, I like to say I got a pretty good understanding on it. But there's a lot of
degree.
There's a lot of stuff that I'm so bad at that maybe I think that it it looks badly on the other things that I do just because I'm like so bad at managing stuff, or I'm so bad at doing this and that. And sometimes I'm a dick about things and I don't care about other people's feelings. And it's not that I don't care, man. It's just that, like, I don't bother people with, like, I don't boo-hoo people. I don't, hey guys, poor pitiful. I don't get this. I don't do I don't expect to, because I don't want nobody to take my burdens on.
What do you think? Because, you know, one of my biggest things getting into this kind of as a newbie is who to trust in this UFO field, this UAP field, and like who not to trust. And I thought this would be a great question for you because of your history and reading people and whatnot. What are your thoughts on some of these quote unquote whistleblowers that have come out? You know, you got Luis Elizondo, you got David Grush, you got Jeremy Corbell, who I don't know if he's a whistleblower, but is definitely facilitating whistleblowers.
He's something.
Forward.
He's something. I wouldn't put it that way.
So speaking of these guys and these whistleblowers, I understand that you were an admin on Theories of Everything, Kurt Jamungel's show, and you had some personal experience with Travis Walton and even Luis Elizondo. Is that right?
Yeah, I was the one in his, if anybody was in the chat that day, and at the time that he interviewed Luis Elizondo and Travis Walton, I was the admin in there, basically kicking people out and trying to tame the crowd. And this is, and I learning after, like, talking with Kurt and stuff, like after that and asking questions about, like, Travis Walton, stuff like this. It's something that really Kurt really, what he asked me not to say anything about it, but I mean that was like 3 or 4 years ago. But, like, Travis Walton charges a lot of money to do interviews with him, and Luis Elizondo didn't do it. But Luis Elizondo, even just talking with Luis Elizondo and stuff that people didn't see on that Kurt didn't put up and stuff, was kind of how everything that he asked that Kurt was trying to ask him. Like he does the same thing he does. He just dances around it, and Kurt tries to bring it back to the relevant topic, but he skews off somehow to just random crap. But by putting in, like, these little NLP tactics that I've been talking about, and these little manipulation tactics, which he is good at because he is trained. He's an Army special intelligence, or Army intelligence,
counterintelligence, right?
Counterintelligence, and plus he's a remote viewer too.
Apparently, yeah.
And apparently he's a remote viewer, so, like, he's a double threat here. So, but Lou, he's obfuscating from the truth. He doesn't. Who gets up there? He says he's got all this. This is a good one here. He's got all this evidence, right? He's seen things. He's got pictures. He's gonna can't release them, but guys, it was given to me. This hadn't been vetted, but that's the best.
The foul up at the convention.
Oh yeah. Are you an idiot? Like Lou. Are you dumb? You've been saying you've had this stuff. No, you don't. You just put up 30 minutes. It took, I think somebody said 23 minutes, and it was debunked from the time it was put up that he put it up. Right. 23 or 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the internet, nothing's going to escape these people. And I'm one of them, but nothing's going to escape the eyes of, hey, hold on a minute. You didn't say, that's not what you said. That's not what you did, kind of thing. Like, there's too many people. There's too many smart people in this. There's too many people that they're not buying it anymore, dude. Because I used to buy it. Definitely not buying it anymore. And, like, you're a kind dude, and like you're just getting into this, and, like, you're cutting your teeth in on it, dude. So, like, but I've given you my opinion. I mean, I don't want you to take my opinion, and I know, like, I don't want you to skew your judgment and, like, and all that stuff. But I know for a fact, 3-4 months of this, you're gonna be like Elizondo memes, and like I do, dude. Like, I make some pretty rough. I mean, I'm telling you, dude.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah, like, and I send them to him. I mean, I don't want him to see them.
Pilots are reportedly encountering small unidentified objects, sometimes in a swarm-like group,
and as fast as Mach
35.
The U.S. government is operating with secrecy above congressional oversight UAPs.
When it comes to the UFO topic, there's no shortage of grifters, cons, and hags. I try to do my part to combat the nonsense and the gaslighting with these videos, explaining the best that I can exactly what's going on. It used to be easy to pull one over on the masses. Let's see if I can change that.
Says, hey, Skipper, do you see that thing down there? And we saw this little white tic-tac looking object, and it's just kind of moving above the whitewater area.
Like no predictable movement, no predictable trajectory.
The tic-tac's still pointing north-south. It goes, and just
plainclothes guys come on board, just normal suits, and a couple, it looks like a couple of officers get called down to combat to sign over all of the data record, and they wiped CEC too.
Let's ask Dave Fravor.
Men in suits did not show up. No one told us not to talk about it. And this is because there's a lot of other people saying other things. I'm probably, as a CO of a squadron, in the top 20 out of 6,000.
Confidence can say that I was visual for about 10 seconds and that the actual aggressive maneuvering of my lead lasted for about 10 seconds.
Are you sure about that?
What I want to be really careful of here is that we don't jump to conclusions.
UFOs, it's not a debate. If you don't know, you just haven't been paying attention. Where do they come from? We know they're not Russia. We know they're not China. We know that they're not ours.
Like, I'm happy. I'm laughing the whole time up.
Well, what do you think? I mean, what do you think the game is? What is his game then?
We come right into that 5-phase plan that Jeremy McGowan, that I sent you. Did you remember that you were reading that? So like Jeremy McGowan, guys go follow him on X. It's Osiris. He was the guy that had the Osiris. I talked to him quite a few times, and he's the guy that had the Osiris. It was like a Forerunner it looked like a Forerunner, and it was supposed to have all these sensors. It was decked out. It had these, according to Luis Elizondo, it had these special cameras that have just been produced in some kind of special optics, and it was just and McGowan was like, it had one camera. It was a Navstar camera that was like not even any. And he's telling people in this meeting, Lou Elizondo is like firing, guys, look at the Osiris out there, guys. Look, it's got CIA wanted this. Like he is. And McGowan's like, whoa, dude, I didn't sign up for this because they're talking to people that are like.
Wait, so he was trying to get a contract?
Yeah. So what's going on? This is.
And he was lying about their capabilities?
They were trying to get a show, right, to go for the Osiris. From my take, I could be wrong on the details, but I believe it was to make they were going to have a show about the Osiris that's going to go out and hunt UAPs, and they were selling the idea to like A&E or to like the History Channel, and so Lou was telling these guys like, hey, dude, this thing has got like this special CIA, they want this tech, but we got it in the vehicle out there, and it had one Navstar 360 camera that couldn't pick up, anything. But McGowan was like, I'm not cool with that because McGowan's got integrity. You got integrity. Right. I can tell that automatically. You have integrity. Like there's people that have that integrity thing, right? They do the right thing when other people aren't watching. So and McGowan does. McGowan's a good guy, and McGowan wasn't cool with it. McGowan has a bunch of articles, and I implore you, and I'll get them for you. I'll get the articles, but I want you to post. I want you to post them in the description. Go read these articles, and you will have more of an insight on Lou Elizondo than Lou Elizondo does. Because McGowan, what he does to McGowan, he does some pretty shady stuff to McGowan, and I'm not gonna like give the spoiler away, but McGowan wrote these articles, and he is a great writer. And it's like,
no, we want the spoilers.
He tried to make McGowan think that he could read minds and that he knew the day he was going to die. And so he predicted the day that him and his wife his wife was going to die of drugs wait. Lou
Elizondo said this to McGowan?
Yes. You can go read his article. Yes. Lou Elizondo was trying to convince McGowan that he could read the future or something like that. It's something like reading the future, or he could do this. And he told McGowan, and because McGowan took it personally, like, dude, I don't want to know even if you did know that kind of stuff, why would you tell me that the day I was going to die, or why would you tell me that this is going to happen? And he took it personally, dude. And he should, because he tried to get all personal. He tried to say his ex-wife is going to die of drug overdose, and she doesn't even do drugs.
Who does that?
Luis Elizondo.
Why was he doing it?
Because he's doing that little that game that I guess I was telling you about last night, like that little game that Darren Brown plays with the wallet when he steals the wallet. It's all about control. It's all if you can make somebody think that you know. And what it was Elizondo had talked to somebody that McGowan remembers telling that him and his wife got divorced and he had a daughter, but he never told Elizondo that. Well, Elizondo was like, I'm reading that you have a daughter. And so, but McGowan knew that Lou already knew about the daughter. So he was trying to make it like he was magical and trying to sell this, like, I can do all these great things to make him, so McGowan would be one of his like yes men or something. And McGowan's not a yes man. So
how many people do you think Lou has done this to?
Dude, that's why I say when you go read McGowan's article, he gets in depth to a whole lot more stuff like that, and he even breaks down the 5-phase plan and stuff like that. But I bet you Lou has done it to every single person that he's talked to, and he does it to every single person on podcast. Chris Ramsey, go watch that one. He don't answer a question. He tries to make it like it says, why they're asking too many questions, guys? Why do you want to know? Like, I'm only on a podcast.
Deliver the data.
He's selling his book.
That's his line.
Yeah, it's all about the good old George Washington Benjis at the Green. It's all about that, dude. It's all about power, and it's all about he's trying to get a government contract to be the only people that can study UAP in Congress. And if Congress grants a contract to Lou Elizondo's company, or there's some kind of a company, they're the only ones qualified to quantify the data to have to get that money from Congress.
And he thinks he's gonna get that contract by
that's why
skipping out on a skiff meeting. What is he doing? He's here in Oregon partying in McMinnville instead of going to a skiff.
Yeah, like I said, remember like you could just mark this time that 5:23, 20:25 at 11:48 my time, whatever your time did. There will never be no disclosure. There's no aliens coming here. Lou Elizondo is full of shit. Jeremy Corbell, whoa, full of shit, and he, George Knapp, his mentor and partner in crime, they want you to. They're journalists, but they're releasing garbage that is like I can debunk everything they've done just with my limited knowledge.
Okay, hold on. All right, Jeremy Corbell. Let's start there. Jeremy Corbell. Let me hear it.
Oh boy. All right, so like where we can go far. We can go way back because I know a lot about Jeremy Corbell.
Let's do it, guys. Let's do it.
And we're going to reference this right here, guys. If you want to go ahead and follow somebody who knows a lot of stuff about this guy, these people that I'm talking about, and somebody that I have collaborated with on material and I talk to all the time. His name is Luis Caetano, and his channel on YouTube, I believe, is knowledge and something. But he's on.
We'll get it. We'll get a link down below. Yeah,
under Luis Caetano. But anyway, he's got Bob Lazar's timeline. He knows he can smoke Bob Lazar's stuff. He's really good. He's a good dude. He's one of the best researchers as far as this as I know. But yeah, anyway, like he knows all this stuff. He's a great person to get information from. But yeah, like basically, like whenever Jeremy Corbell done this video, when he done that the what was it called, the Area 51, like UFOs and Area 51 kind of stuff.
The documentary on Netflix.
Yeah, the documentary on Netflix.
Okay, so this is some years after the gimbal and the go fast and that stuff he was sort of part of.
Well, I don't know. When did he do that? When
did he interject himself?
That's definitely what he did. What I guess he says that he was like George Knapp's like trying to figure out how to do journalism. His like right hand man. His
Well, they do seem to be like partners.
Not only that, but every single video, go watch it. We'll put a montage if you want to. Every single video, he wants you to know that's his mentor. And in journalism, because they are mentor, that's his mentor. He says it 3 or 4 times everyone.
Yeah. I watch him. I do watch their stuff. Yeah. I mean, especially the recent stuff on, you know, Matthew Brown, as you know, I've been like super fascinated with.
Matthew
just
Brown,
because there is no debunking of Matthew Brown yet. Maybe there will be.
I'll tell you right. I'll go ahead and put this out here now. Matthew Brown might be a reputable guy and all that stuff, but he's just been told something, and he might know something about some kind of stuff that we have, like our government has.
Well, no, he found it. He found it. He wasn't told.
Okay. Let me rephrase. All right, let me rephrase this. What I'm going to say. That
Okay.
He's lying his ass off. Then that's what he's definitely lying. And I know you liked him, and I like I said, I watched your videos. And I know that he.
Okay.
But I'm letting you know, like I'm going to call it. I
So
respect.
based on
but he's lying.
Your assessment of people's bodies, languages,
yes, he's lying.
And stuff like that. You think he's being dishonest?
He's heard something, or he's wanting to interject himself into this equation somehow, and people only do that for either wanting attention or selling a book or something. They're gaining something from it. He's saying it. He might say he's not, but they all say that. But if you dig a little deeper, there's a reason he's doing it. Maybe he's scorned. A lot of these people, I think, are scorned with with maybe they got into it with somebody that they got thrown out of their army or gotten into it with somebody, and they're scorned, so they want to get back, and they just go out and I'm gonna tell our technology and tell him it's alien, you know, and do stuff like that. Maybe just to tell the
vibe I got from him was he was scorned, but with the system and with the lack of reaction to what he had leaked. Like, I took it as he thought when he leaked Immaculate Conception that it was gonna light the world on fire, right?
Do you know
people were going to be in the streets protesting, and that didn't happen, right?
So
like people got jobs they got to keep.
See, this is also like why you gotta ask yourself, like, okay, this Immaculate Conception, and he supposedly got these people got this this knowledge that they're going to tell these senators and all that stuff, and but they're willing to do it, but nobody's got in trouble for it. Nobody, but they. I don't.
Well,
it's like they're playing a game.
They have whistleblower protections now. So if you come forward, you say I'm a whistleblower, you can't. Do
you think that the government is going to allow somebody to tell the world about their hidden technology?
No,
it'll never happen.
No. But it also doesn't mean that they wouldn't allow someone to release as part of this era. Maybe some stuff that's true, so people can start wrapping their brains around there's something else. I mean, why else did they change that language to non-human intelligence? There's something else that's not human.
Yeah, like, I mean, if anything, it would be some kind of like rogue AI that maybe somebody created or something like that. I would think that it could
rogue
possibly,
AI.
Yeah, like maybe like something like maybe they did some AI, got struck by lightning, kind of like into that movie, Short Circuit, you know, the little robot.
Okay, hold on.
No,
so you're talking like a Skynet situation?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I would say that's way more plausible than aliens ever coming here or dimensions ever being crossed. I don't believe in like there's a lot of like I'm not a scientist or anything, but like I mean I'm educated and stuff, but like I don't want to. I don't deny science. I go with the scientific method because the scientific method allows you and me to be able to do what we're doing. That's based on the laws and the principles of the physics that we use. This stuff works because all these smart scientists, they work their tail off. I mean, from way back, we built to what we have now. And these people that say shit like, "Oh, the Earth is flat," or "We didn't go to the moon," or like this stuff. That's a slap. That is a slap in the face to people that did that stuff. So
I agree.
And so the physics that we run on says that the stuff that these guys are saying, that Luis Elizondo and all them are claiming stuff, that stuff won't work in our physics. You know, so maybe they got something cool and they're told the person, hey, it's an alien shit, like just because they're like putting them off, you know, because they might run their mouth or something. So they tell them it's something, so just a throw off or whatever, but really it's just something we created in its boss, and it does something really cool. And we don't want the Russians and the Chinese to know about it because we got to be able to shoot them out of the sky. Because whoever's further in space that's got a better weapon is going to win the game. Whoever can kill the most amount of people with the smallest weapon and the fastest wins the game. And we do. The United States can do that.
It would be smart from a tactical stance if Russia thinks their hypersonic nukes are unstoppable, and you have something that can stop them to continue to let them believe that, for sure. So how about, now you mentioned dollars and something about Travis Walton getting paid for interviews. Now, look, I don't knock these guys. You know, this is their job if they got to get paid or whatever. But what particular about Travis Walton didn't sit right with you about that whole situation?
If you if you go back and watch, if you have a chance, or you better go back and watch it and stuff, and like a lot of the questions that Kurt was asking were ones that I was typing, like asking this and stuff, because I had him on another little line, like we have right here, so I had him on another thing where I would say, and I had his number message, so I'd message him stuff, and he would read some of his questions, and his answers were not what they should be. His story kind of got more like he had a little more to the story. You can go back and watch it. He added a couple things to the story, and then he kept just being. First off, he was super late. He tried to cancel. Kurt already paid him. Yeah, I don't know. I think he charged a couple $100. Kurt already paid him for this time. He tried to, because he had to go to his publicist.
A couple $100. How much time did he get?
It was like an hour podcast. And Kurt was like, if you go watch it, Kurt was on his ass. Kurt was even like, no, can you turn your phone off? Because he kept getting a phone call, and he was like trying to like shush Kurt. Kurt had like a bunch of people watching it, dude. And Kurt was like, no. Why don't you just turn that off? Like Kurt ain't play, dude. Kurt's a smart dude.
Yeah.
But just the way he was acting, the way, and then realizing that he's charging for this, the only means of money he makes is this. So he has that shows that he has
a book, and
he had the movie.
I would imagine he gets some royalties from Fire in the Sky or something, right? Like,
yeah, but
I don't think rich, but
no, I don't think he is, because
if he's charging $200 for an hour of his time,
I don't want to say that for a fact, but I don't know, but I know it's over 100 or something like that. It was over 100.
Yeah,
but that just shows that like all these people say that they're not wanting to make money off their story because, like, especially Bob Lazar. Bob Lazar will tell you he has not made a dime since he came out with the story. Not only is that false, he's made money since almost a couple months after he said the story, because there's the Bob Lazar Bible. Have you ever watched that? The Gene LaBelle, no. Gene Huff. All right, they go back. He talks about the physics. Actually, that AI video. Did you ever watch the AI one I did with Bob Lazar, with him talking about?
Not yet.
Oh, that's cool.
We'll post it in here.
That's
We're
great,
gonna
dude.
watch that one, yeah.
That's the AI voice of Bob and the AI voice of Lou. Them having a psionics remote viewing session. Hot oil remote viewing session.
That is fantastic.
It's pretty.
The Lou stuff with remote viewing and messing with a terrorist in Guantanamo is
portions of Guantanamo Bay involving high value detainees, and we decided to conduct an experiment where a few of us would get into a skiff. We had a brown bag lunch, and we maybe thought we could try to remote view. And I had been to the detention facility before, not realizing if we were effective or not. And then lo and behold, not too long later, a major news media article came out, I'm not going to say which one, that detailed this detainee's experience with what apparently the detainee perceived as 5 white figures over his bed.
I think it was in Saudi Arabia, it's not in English, of a gentleman that was on the other side of that coin, that was in that prison cell when Lou was doing that stuff.
ستارغيت تؤكد بأن الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية تستخدم هذا النوع من أنواع العلوم. ظهرت بعض الأعراض على المعتقلين سحر. فمرة من المرات أنا كنت قاعد بنص الليل، والشباب كانوا نايمين أمامي في عنابر الدرجات الأولى اللي مفتوحة على بعضها، فسمعت صرخة من هناك، كلهم متلحفين بالشرشف بالليل، نص الليل، هدوء كان، وقتها ما كان في إزعاج. هذا الشفت، أظن شفت النخلة كان هادئ، ولا أسمع صرخة، التفت طالعت ولا أخي يقوم، بعدها الثاني صرخ وقام، بعدها صرخ وقام، بعدها شو السالفة، واللي يقول أي رجلي إيش صار، ليه مسافة وأنا طالع منبهر. فالأخ البعيد قال يا جماعة واحد رفسني، اللي بعده قال حتى أنا رفسني على رجلي، الثالث قال أنا رفسني
When Lou was doing what stuff?
When they said they were remote viewing, messing with the guy?
Yeah, but see, there is.
I'll show you the video. You can make up your mind. We'll play it when we edit this for everyone.
Okay. Could you imagine? I bet you. But you know what? Did Lou ever have contact with that guy? Did Lou ever talk to him? See him?
No.
Anything like that? Never
No.
talked to him?
I don't even think he speaks English.
Okay, but I know the people, they tortured them dudes, right? They tortured them.
Oh, dude,
they
were to keep him in a foreign country. God knows what they did to him.
They were praying to God, and they probably seen God a few times with the way they went. So they probably said a lot of things and Lou just cleverly put that to match that was us. CIA doing that.
I'll show you it's pretty fascinating video. I mean, it kind of matches up with like what Lou is describing, and it's pretty shocking actually.
I'd love to see it, dude. I mean,
yeah. Okay, let's go past Lou. And we talked about Walton. We were talking about Corbell. Let's get back into Corbell.
Okay, yeah.
So,
let's start the Corbell. Okay, people don't know this. Corbell, if you go back and you look up quantum jujitsu on YouTube, right?
Jujitsu.
It's So
like physics and jujitsu.
This is before way before anybody. He looks different. So if you go watch. He's either trust fund kid, he's either a rich kid who has money and is able to. He had his own dojo, and their black belt test is of. If you go watch it, you're gonna thank me later. You're gonna be like, that's the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life, dude. They were blindfolding him.
What is it?
They were blindfolding him and beating the shit out of him, and like they're doing like grabbing each other like obvious like wrestling moves, like where they're like doing locks and flips and shit of demonstrate. It's just demonstration stuff. But none of these black belt tests are anything that would ever help anybody do anything in life but get killed.
The black belt test is like a gang initiation.
It is. It's something. Dude, that's what it would be. It would be something that like at college they would haze you with. It's that.
This was his own dojo.
And I don't know if he distanced himself from it, I think, because I ain't never heard him say nothing about it. Because
people don't you have to be like a black belt and like established to start a dojo, or
I don't think he is. This was before like Eddie Bravo's 10th Planet. This was before jiu-jitsu was really even. This was right when the UFC really was something in jiu-jitsu. Like the Gracies were around. And like I think him and his buddies got together, and they're a bunch of rich kids. They bought this thing and they just started teaching themselves stuff. And yeah, some of their techniques might be right as far as jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. Yeah, sure. Some of them are, but most of it
they watched
is
it in
bullshit.
a YouTube video.
Do what?
They watched it in a YouTube video.
Yes, or they just I don't know. If you see, I'm telling you, it's monkey see monkey do kind of shit, dude. It's crazy.
So is that when he first blips on the map? Is those videos and that stuff?
I found those when I was digging for some of my like my meme videos I did. I ran across that and thought it was fascinating because it hadn't got out. It's like nobody knows about this. Like, please, people go watch this and tell me what is that he's doing. It's not. Some of it's jiu-jitsu, but most of it is like dumb, like you're gonna die, like kind of stuff. blindfolded, like, oh man, it's bad, dude. Like,
so what was? Do you know what his first stuff was? Was if it wasn't that?
He came on. He came on the radar with me.
I have no idea where he came from.
He came on the radar when he released the Bob Lazar in Area 51 thing.
Okay.
Bob Lazar.
Now, I thought he was relevant a little bit before that in these circles.
He might have been relevant before that in the circles, but like whenever you're asking me whenever he came on the scene, like I don't know what he came, but he came on my radar like right around that time. Because at first I was like you, I'm happy that he was releasing this stuff, and like I wasn't editing like hardcore at that time. I wasn't messing with animations that much, and so I was just really learning about like pixels, resolutions, and how to make like FX on your special effects on your videos and stuff. And like, so when you do enough of that, you start to see what's going on in these, and then Mick West is one of the best, and he can describe it the best of anybody, but you know what parallax is. A lot of that stuff is just parallax. And I think that either like a lot of these like Skinwalker Ranch kind of stuff, and like a lot of these programs are just people funneling money for hiding money for either black projects, or they're hiding, or somebody's taking a little bit of that in their pocket, and they're acting like
clearly Corbell's got a dojo. His access to Lazar must have been through Knapp for that.
It was, yeah.
And that must be how they buddied up, right?
Yeah, yes. So
because Lazar's been Knapp only for a very long time.
Yeah, because see what happened was that's what Corbell says. He said that he was trying to get some people to talk to about the UFO stuff, and then George Knapp. He talked to George Knapp, and George Knapp said, "Hey, you should go interview Bob Lazar." That's been on video. Like he said that on video.
Yeah,
you should go interview Bob Lazar. So, but Corbell never released anything new of Bob.
Right.
But that whole story.
Corbell did get Lazar on Rogan for a few hours, though.
Yeah,
and I mean, whether you believe Lazar or not, that was a win, to get him on record live and, answering some of these questions.
He was lying, but yeah, you're right. Kind of exposure. No, he did a good job lying, dude. As a self-proclaimed body language expert, dude, he done a damn good job. But he's not fooling me, dude. He's lying. He's lying his ass off.
Okay.
Bob Lazar worked at Area 51. Bob Lazar read badges. And Bob Lazar was the guy who Bob Lazar brought you your keyboard if it broke down.
State duty.
He worked. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
He worked for it was a contractor of this is where Louis Catano comes in, like gold. Some kind of associates where they contract labor out for like tech people. And Bob Lazar is known. That's what his paycheck stub thing. It comes back as it does come back as a Navy thing, but it's one of them things that for a subcontractor. So Bob gets a job out at Area 51. He's young. He's a smart guy. Bob is definitely a smart guy. So Bob gets a job out at Area 51, and he's got some friends that are talking about aliens, and maybe he's having some problems at home because that's what he said. So I imagine there was problems at home because he was running a whorehouse and all that kind of stuff.
I was not going to say that.
He was doing that. And he's a gun nut too. But I don't put anything that against him. I think that's it.
I mean, they were in Nevada, so
dude, like I said, I don't
area.
I believe to each their own. But if you want to make money off how a man makes his money, that's great and all that stuff. Just don't be. I'm not about like passing off like making the world stupider by making them believe something that isn't true. That's why
amen.
Now, John Lear is legit pilot. John legit,
yes.
But John
with access.
John, he understands. You ever met those people that no matter what you say, they're gonna think the crazy thought anyway because they just want to either be different or because they really probably even think that because maybe they want to sell it.
They've seen the craziness.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I would think that they've probably seen like some maybe laser, some cool stuff, but just. They want to sell. They want to be interesting. They want to be known for something. Everybody wants to be known for something. We're creatures of habit. Everybody wants to be. Everybody wants to be wanted and needed, and everybody wants to be known for something. If you don't, then I don't know why you're here.
That's being human, I think. Right?
Yeah. I mean, what this earth is, what we live in, dude, is it's so much stranger. And I agree with what you said earlier, dude. It's so much stranger than we'll ever know. And I don't want to buy the Big Bang Theory and all that stuff. I think there's a lot of holes and stuff like that, but I don't know what it is. I don't know if we'll ever know, but I really think that when we die, we're going to pop up at a carnival, right? And maybe like a carnival, and we're like in another. We just played a game that only took in real time. It only took about a minute. Our family's standing there waiting for us. That game took us a lifetime, and that's what we're living now. And whenever I die, oh my God, I was in that. Oh my God, I don't want to ever play that again. I think it could possibly be something like that, a simulation, but done like that. Because,
or like Bhagavad Gita says, until you get the game right, you're just going to keep playing it round and round you go until you figure it out and have that good karma.
I hope that's not the case. I mean, because like me and my mom had that. My mother had this talk because I kind of told her that theory right there, and I asked her, I was like, "Well, would you ever play the game again?" And she was like, "Oh hell no, I would never play this game again." My mom is she just turned 67. Is 67?
Okay, yeah. Mine's around the same age. Yep.
Yeah. So like my mom's cool. My mom's cool as a fan, dude. My mom is. Man, my mom's is awesome, dude. I have the best mother in the world, dude. But my mother is supportive. My mother's is a top notch mother. She's just relatively new to the subject. Like I want to give you as many insights as I can, and I don't want to like sour you from it, dude. But I do want you to know the stuff that I went through and the stuff that all these people that I've given you the names to. Find out what they went through. Yeah. Before really saying like this person's a good person, because you're automatically like. We could say because Jeffrey Dahmer was probably a good person, to people, Ted Bundy, and there was a lot of people that probably vouched for him, dude. And then people are probably like, "Fuck, I vouched for that guy." Like, I wouldn't be myself, and I wouldn't sleep at night if I did not let you know that how I approach this and how, man, I don't want you to get down the rabbit hole of believing these guys because it's this right here, dude. It's get on the wheel and let's see how long we can keep you on the wheel. Can you give you some money?
Yeah.
The more you watch their videos, the more they get paid.
That's why I'm glad you're here. You know what I mean? That's why I'm glad you're here for myself and for my audience, because I think as much crazy stuff and just absolutely out there theories as I've talked about, you have to remember there's a total other side of this that is completely, quote unquote, grounded in facts and physics and reality, saying still waiting.
It's almost like with scientists, people are like, well, why won't they debate me? Why won't these people vet my stuff? Well, because it doesn't make sense. They don't have to. They already know you don't have a physics degree. You don't know what you're talking about. Why would they listen to you? Like Terrence Howard and Billy Carson. What would ever make them think that they have the theory of everything when they don't even know basic math?
After I'm done here today, I'm going to put online the equations necessary to have unlimited energy. They took away my passport. It's wrong. You'll never hear from me again. I'll walk away.
You got to walk away forever.
For good. I've made some discoveries. Why would I continue, walking on water for tip?
The Universal Constitution, but no one would take it seriously.
Sounds about right.
Grand unifying supersymmetry challenged the idea of gravity.
What did that idiot just say? He suffers from the Dunning-Kruger brain, right? Well, he does.
A number of linchpins in rotation and see if we can rebuild the planet Saturn.
What an idiot!
I reached out to Neil deGrasse Tyson.
He sent me a 36-page treatise attempting to reinvent mathematics and physics. He wanted to be like, is this a new insight that no one else has had, but has foundations that are authentic or legitimate or objectively true? This came in my inbox.
Started it off with 1 × 1 = 2.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
There are no straight lines.
Right.
Wave conjugation illogical. Make more. Walter Russell multiplicative indicator. 1 time. Numbers. deGrasse Tyson. Victor Schauberger. The square root of a number added to itself will equal more than that number squared. That grand unified field equation. And dude, I've done it. I've got it here.
Wrong. Just always be cautious of the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Your Terrence Howard and Billy Carson shorts are amazing, by the way.
Yeah, man,
yes,
they
seeing
commented.
Howard get corrected for 4 hours by Eric Weinstein on Joe Rogan was classic. I don't know if you watched that.
And then to have the balls to go on PBD after that, and then get debunked again, basically by a scientist who was a very nice guy who didn't agree with one thing he said, but they tried to make it think he did. But that one was so funny, dude. Like the narcissism that man possesses. He even said why would he be walking on water for jump change for you guys? He's solved physics, guys. Why would he be talking to you? He solved physics.
Right.
He hadn't solved anything. He don't even have the patents. Oh boy. Them patents. Right. I think there's like one cool thing he did, but it went bankrupt. But those shapes, patent shape, but me and you can get a patent on anything, brother.
Yes,
but there's no such thing as a free energy patent.
Oh, you should see some of these MK Ultra patents I found. Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they tried it. Yeah, I'm sure they tried everything, and they understand like how were they collecting data and stuff like back in these days? You know, like it had to have been so like rudimentary, like so like sculpt drill to the head kind of shit. You know, instead of like probes
Yeah, I'm working on a video on MK Ultra stuff right now, and there is one gentleman where they literally installed diodes on the back of their skull. Jeez. I mean, no joke. They did brain surgery. They implanted things with wires coming out. You know, like this was the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, dude,
insane.
They weren't too big on like how we are now, dude. Like, and we're pretty. Like I said, we don't.
They were given license.
Know a lot, but we know
as humans. Like, okay,
as humans, we know a lot of stuff. Like we are very smart individuals, but we're not half as smart as we think we are, and we don't know a lot that we think we do know a lot. But there's a lot of stuff that we're just ignorant on, and we don't know. Like we know what gravity is because we can see the effects of it. You know, like we can measure it. There's approximations on like the 3-body system that Terrence Howard talks about that he doesn't even use correctly. But like we have these guesstimations of gravity, you know, because of the massive planet stuff like that. So like, but those work. The dynamics of all that stuff works. Right. So whenever you go and
so Terrence Howard is right.
No. Not only is he wrong, dude. Not only is he wrong. He's so wrong.
Ryan says Terrence Howard is right.
I bet you that he sent those papers in, and I bet you they were hung on the physics wall, and they went by and laughed their ass. I bet you it's a running joke at these places, and he don't know it because the brashness for him to say that he has solved the theory of everything because he can create the planet Jupiter with his stupid little linchpin thing. Yeah, like we're. All because
that's
in
this
crazy. Physics thing.
Like Weinstein and Weinstein's not a nice guy.
No,
Weinstein was as nice as he could be, trying to tell him, like, look, you can't talk to academics like
Did
this.
you watch
like,
the PBD? Did you watch?
You're
did you
the
watch
one
the
that doesn't know what you're talking about, right? And you're talking to academics like they are the ones that don't know what they're
he told PBD that Eric Weinstein got a little out of line, but he let him because he's trying to defer to the physicist, but Eric Weinstein overstood his boundaries and was like,
"Oh, did he?
Oh yeah, he went on PBD he just not long ago. That's what I did one of my last meme about on him. And got on there. It's great, dude, because he had the first off the physicist.
How did Weinstein overdo anything? Like
because Matt, you know how he was saying stuff to him like cutting him off like no, you're. And he was saying something about the 99% is like he don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, like 99% with what he said was garbage, but his shapes were cool. Like he was being pretty like dismissive of Terrence Howard, what he was saying. It was like,
but
really,
nice for Weinstein. I mean,
yeah, but it was kind of like, hold on, buddy, I'm a physicist, you're a fucking idiot. Like, hold on. But he didn't say those words, but it was the attitude like, whoa, I'm surprised Terrence Howard didn't like stab him in the eye with one of those little shapes he has.
Yeah. Well,
It's
what
just insane,
do you
dude.
think of Weinstein? Because I got into this also. What do you think of Weinstein saying that fucking like that physics was derailed? That like they took physics and took the stuff that worked that's crazy. They went black with it because it was too dangerous. Right? Like because if you can tweak gravity, you could literally like implode the world or something crazy. So
I don't think. See, I believe that gravity gravity is just like a byproduct of something. It's not really like I don't think it has a force carrier. I don't think it's a gravitron. I could be wrong, but I doubt there really is. I just think that like the way Eric Weinstein, he put out a theory too that was destroyed. I don't know if you've seen that, but yeah, Eric Weinstein put out a theory of everything that was, and they done him like he done Terrence Howard, but the other academics done Eric Weinstein, yeah, like that. But Eric Weinstein's a smart guy, but he's just a rich like Ivy League asshole that thinks he knows everything, and he's not going to listen to you because you don't. Who are you? Like you don't have time to know who you are. So listen to him because he's Eric Weinstein.
But he is kind of right on the string theory thing. I mean, it has been like since string theory became a thing, there's literally been zero progress. None.
You can't. Yes, it's unquantifiable. You can't test it. It's untestable like all this stuff. But
so that's it. So sorry, guys.
Well,
I'm like Weinstein with that. Like I refuse to believe that that's it if we can't advance it.
Well, the way the physics really is it's all like, they're crunching numbers and stuff, but like a lot of the theoretical stuff, you have to have a way to. That's what when they talk about like Cartesian space and stuff like that, and that's just like a 3D way to do a diagram. It's like the 4D axis or 3D axis. So like. But you have to have a way to be able to have a system of what are they called, axioms. It's like axioms. There has to be rules to this, and you have to make these rules. And the more rules that you make for it, the worse off it's going to be. The more stuff that you have to like assume. I assume that this was so many years old. So when they're putting all this stuff into these parameters, not knowing if that's the real value of it, but they're guesstimating from these approximations that we really don't know if they're right. They seem right, and the way we do it seems right, but I think we're fundamentally off with like either the way we're approaching it or like the way that they're wanting to see, because Albert Einstein's theory is so solid and it can't be really disproven. They say his locality was, but I don't really think that was the case. But because like Albert Einstein stuff is so solid, and we do orbital dynamics from it and stuff like that, that if something comes along that doesn't agree with that, they're not even going to look at it because we have this that works. Why would we have to introduce that whenever we're not sure? We're not going to. It has to involve this too. Like like that's why I'm saying like quantum mechanics needs to. We can't do like gravity. We can't test stuff like really small, like what they call it quantum gravity. Like they're trying to find a theory to merge the two. When I don't think it's really like that. I think that it's all inherent as one, like they say, like, because some of the stuff like there's four, fundamental, there's four known forces, electromagnetism, gravity.
Well, now some physicists say that there's like 11.
That's what string theory and stuff like there's a whole bunch of theories but
well,
the ones
so
these are
Amy
ones that
Eskridge,
we know, like Amy
Eskridge. Yeah, she gets into that, the different forces, and she talks about it. And we talked about her a little bit.
Yeah.
Are we gonna find out what happened to her?
We can definitely go down that. We can go down it, like, dude. We just gotta be able to find a way to figure out more information of like where she died and stuff like that. And like I said, I need to. We'll say, I'll make a note, dude. And I'll call a couple people.
Ning Lee run over in front of her lab. Her partner basically ousted to Russia.
Well, Ning Lee died. Ning Lee died of cancer, I thought.
No, she died of Alzheimer's.
But that's what it was.
This was after she was run over.
Okay, you're right.
In front of her lab. And
but see,
when
they
she
were
got
saying
run
that,
over, her husband had a heart attack because he witnessed it, and he died.
That happens a lot.
Her son took care of her, like for the last 6 years of her life, and she had Alzheimer's after.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Her partner that worked with her in that lab, nobody would work with him after that. He had to go back to Russia because he couldn't get a new green card, and he's basically whatever they tell him to do in Russia, right? Because that's how Russia works.
Well, probably because he's from Russia, and we're probably afraid that he's going to be going and giving our shit away. Nobody will work with him. That's probably that's plausible. Like
could be. And then Amy Eskridge, same town, same science.
I think that whenever smart people that crunch numbers like that, they're so smart, and they're so like their mind works in such a way that they're very susceptible to going crazy. They're susceptible to like bipolar. Because I've known a few people that were like that too. They were just so smart that they were manic about it. They were just like just like they want to pull their hair out. You ever seen that?
Yeah.
You ever seen that movie? You ever seen that movie Real Geniuses with Val Kilmer?
Yeah,
the part in there where they're sitting down there reading, all of a sudden the guy sits up and he's like, ah, and he just starts screaming, and they runs out there, and then they're all like, they kind of grab his notes and stuff and pull him back over and start getting like, because he snapped because they've been doing so much studying. That's how I imagine like people do, dude.
It's
like
a thin line between brilliance and craziness or insanity, whatever it is they say. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be you have to almost be insane to be able to follow other methods that people aren't aligned to, or bold enough to follow them and try to either advance them or do something like that.
Well,
even to get your stuff out there is bold.
That's what they say, is that she had the secret sauce to advance gravitational propulsion. I'm going to ask a question now. We talked about this offline a little bit, and you weren't sure how you felt about answering it, but I can't help but ask it anyway.
All right.
Diane Pasulka wrote about a Tim Taylor, aka Tyler D, who is just this insane character, right? Some people say he travels through time. He's a top engineer at NASA. He also is like a flight leader at NASA that goes by the nickname the Dragon at NASA.
See, I'll put it this way, dude. I know who Tim Taylor is. It's not who they say Tim Taylor is.
All right. Well, I gotta ask you, who is the time traveling Tim Taylor?
See, I don't know about like the I guess the time traveling part, like the Pasulka, like they got kind of stuff. But I do believe that everything that my research and my doings and the stuff that I know in the town that I live in, I do believe that Tim Taylor is Travis Taylor, and the reason that he is not coming out and saying that he is doing this is because he has contracts with the history. He's got stuff with NASA and all that stuff. Because why else would they hide this Tim Taylor guy? And why else? He's saying that that's this and the Tyler Durden and all that stuff. But if you know Travis Taylor, like
the history guy, Travis Taylor,
Rocket City Rednecks, and also this Hunt for Skinwalker Ranch.
Skinwalker Ranch. Travis Taylor.
Yeah. See, I live in Somerville, Alabama, and that's where he was born. Like, so I believe because he's got all these physics degrees. Like, we can go through and look at all these degrees. Everything that they're saying matches. He works for NASA. He's got an optical engineering. I believe that either they're using maybe Bledsoe or something like that. But I don't know. But I do believe that
Chris Bledsoe Sr. For those that don't know, you'll have to check out Chris Bledsoe Sr.
Yeah. See, and again, I could be wrong, but like, it's weird that like I live in Huntsville, and this guy lives in Huntsville too. That this Tim Taylor guy, and he works for NASA, and he's all these things that Travis Taylor is, but we can't find out who he is, and because I do believe it's because either who Travis works for, like I said, like Skinwalker Ranch people, it's going to be a contract. It's going to make that show either like maybe a conflict of interest or something is going on. Again, I could be wrong, but. Wow. Right now, I think I do believe that's would be who it is. And if it's not, man, if it's not, I don't know, but I don't think we'll ever. Did Bledsoe ever say he would tell who? Like, because
no, not in any of the interviews I heard with him. I mean, I'll be
I remember
honest,
I saw one that
thing, but...
see, I saw one that when he said his name, he said, "Oh, yeah, Tim Taylor." He's not going to mind me saying that. I don't think he was really saying his like. I do believe they just calling him Tim Taylor because actually, so Travis Taylor, his last name is Taylor, right? And like usually like smart people and like narcissistic people and people that always want to have a piece of their self in their pseudonym name, in their fake name. Like I don't want to put myself in danger and stuff like that, but
sure.
And what I get to say is what I get to say on the internet. So guys, if you want to know what I want to get to say, just go watch my videos, because I already said so. Like, I don't have to argue with people, because this is what I believe, guys. I made a video about it. Here you go. Like, that's the only times I'll ever say I'll watch a video, but I don't ask people to subscribe to me. I don't ask people to watch it. Hey, please, I don't. You know,
I'm gonna ask them to subscribe to you, because you have some awesome stuff.
It.
And like
this, and subscribe to Gabriel Speaks too, because you, like I said, you're going up there. You're going to be there. Like
my mind is just blown right now over Travis Taylor maybe being Tim Taylor.
And like I said, and like I said, the points of this are, they said, we already know that he lives in Huntsville, Alabama, the Tim Taylor, correct? You know, remember you saying that Bledsoe said that?
Check.
The NASA
Has
thing.
He been to Nassau?
What's Nassau?
Well, that's the island where apparently the time traveling happens.
I don't know. I don't see.
That would be interesting if we could confirm that.
Yeah, that would. I mean, that would be nice. But I just think that he's a hidden.
You'll have
he's
to
a
check
hidden
out the
person.
rabbit hole. I'll show you the rabbit hole sometime. But there where T. Townsend Brown, I think Tesla and somebody else has a connection to this island where it's rumored maybe some time traveling experiments took place, but
yeah,
I don't know. The rumor is that's where Tim Taylor came from.
Tim Taylor came from.
That's the rumor, that he's a time traveler.
I wouldn't. I would bet. Like, again, that's one of them dollars to donut things, bro. Like, I don't even need no money. I'll bet you with my money, you ain't gonna bet nothing. That's definitely not ever like.
Well, he has to be connected, right? Because Pasolka said the Vatican let him like walk through their archives without even a.
So what is what is Tim Taylor known for? I mean, what is Travis Taylor known for? As if you know Travis Taylor, what do you know about Travis Taylor?
Not a damn thing.
Have you ever watched the Skinwalker Ranch type thing?
Yes, and my wife is a huge fan of that show.
Okay, it says former head NASA scientist, and he was also Travis Taylor was the scientist for the UAP, the ATIP, when it worked with Luis Elizondo.
Did he work with Elon Musk developing the Dragon rocket?
That's a good thing, probably. I don't know.
Because there's been
Travis Taylor is involved. Travis Taylor is a top-notch scientist. I don't like, not that I don't like him. I just don't. I don't agree with a lot of things he says. But I mean, I respect him because he's a smart guy. But as far as that, like, I think he's in it for the fame too. He's in it for the money, and he's once you get that taste. I wouldn't know, but I imagine once you get to taste that power and people respect you, like imagine it's like it's addicting. You know, like you want other people to do it. So Travis Taylor. He's all about aliens, because remember the video? He's an alien expert. One of my memes I showed you. He's an expert at this kind of stuff. So if he's an expert at it, there's a guy named Tim Taylor that's from Huntsville, Alabama. Just happen to be where the biggest biggest scientist, NASA UFO nut, Travis Taylor lives, and just kind of fits the criteria of Travis Taylor. So that's my theory. I'm going to run with it and say it. I don't mind putting it out there. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you right now, like, there's more evidence to it than not.
Honestly, it's the best.
Do you know that Gabriel,
so far.
Gabriel, you're the first person that has, this is exclusive stuff. You're the first person that has heard this. Dude, I haven't put it on anybody. So,
you heard it, folks. This is groundbreaking stuff right here. This is
if I'm wrong, you heard it on Gabriel Speaks. You didn't hear it from
my
me.
God. That is incredible stuff. Well, see, but here's the thing. If I'm wrong, I'll cop to it. I'll be the first to cop to it. In fact, I think there's a video where I called Buzz Aldrin Buzz Aldridge, and I felt super stupid after that.
Buzz Aldridge.
But what about the cats that get called out time and time again? And they just will. So you probably know who I'm talking about here, Ashton Forbes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
If you're on X at all, you don't even have to be subscribed to this guy, and you're going to see him update 4 times a day at least about this MH370 thing. You made a video showing him being debunked. Ross Coulthart just came out with a video showing him be debunked. You can
I think
find
that's classic too. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Digital match of the plane explosion and Ron Burgundy's eyes in the Anchorman. Dude, what are your thoughts on Ashton Forbes and this MH370 thing?
If anybody's, the Dunning-Kruger effect, right? Like that, it fits that so much so that like this guy, not only has he came out, he put an X post. I'll see anything where he admits that it's a fake. He admits that after talking with Kim.com that he's not going to pursue this anymore. But these people keep sending him, and I'm telling you, I bet it's somebody that's trolling him that's sending him like, no,
Same
you're on
person.
You're on the right track, dude. Keep going. Don't let them. They're lying to you. And Ashton, his brain doesn't work like ours work because he's had a taste of that. Everybody wants to interview me. Everybody, like, I don't know if you saw him on Redacted. Oh, boy.
So as a statement of fact, those do not match. And all I have to say to counter is how many pixels match? Do we want to ask our expert?
Dude, it is fucking exact.
It's not, though. That's the problem. It's not an exact match.
See those 2 dots? See the big one and see the little one up top?
Back over to the other one. Yeah, let
go back to where he's going over
I actually have we'll go into it later because I actually have the
watch.
So you see the extra dots, right?
Yep, see them? Watch.
And now they're going to disappear.
Well, if you go back and forth,
they don't. Look, they're there. The black dot's right there.
Scroll down just a little, keep your mouse right near the. I mean, I've got the version of this, so no worries. Just keep going.
So how are all of those little wave ripples? How are those so perfectly matching what's in the video?
Because all dispersal patterns, all dispersal patterns look the same. This is like saying that my butthole is your butthole because they're similar. Right? It's not. We don't have the same butthole because of that. In fact, I have a visual effect of a donut.
But his theory has been well debunked, so far debunked. Right. But he runs with it every day because people believe it. And I don't know if I don't know which. Do you see them? You see his post? Do you see everybody else's post that they put like? If you ever watch like the Average Chris, okay, yeah, but for Ross Coulthart to clown on Ashton for putting out garbage. That's the pot calling kettle black. Ross Coulthart, in my book, dude, is the biggest UFO shill, and he knows. I think big dude. There's not one video he'll ever put up. I don't know if you caught one. I did one about the orbs in the Outback. It's called Orbs in the Outback.
Unseen things, the rulers of the darkness.
Talking about the devil, he's a very real devil.
Straight ahead of me. There's an orb. Agents have told you they've seen portals. Orb.
Jack Sarfati took a Wilcox.
Straight ahead of me. Portals.
Portals opening in the sky.
Portals opening in the sky.
Portals.
Opening in the sky. Portals opening in the sky. In the sky. Portals opening in the sky. Opening in the sky.
Seen portals.
Ashton, come here.
Did I get scammed?
This lenticular object.
You've never seen
lenticular object.
The old.
Yeah, they're freaking. They're little bugs flying across the thing, and this guy submits a scientific paper. This is great. Submits a scientific paper about these orbs, and they dismissed it and laughed him out of the thing because it's a bug in a camera, and that's what. But Ross Coulthart, this is an orb in the Outback, and he makes it like this big thing. It's a bug, and everybody knows.
Was that after the report had been made?
He's put up so much shit, dude. Everything he puts up is going to be something about some garbage that does not. Yeah. The birds. Do you see the one about the birds and the UAP dogfight?
Yeah.
The birds.
Yes. But
you saw that.
It's hard, like when you're covering this stuff, because
would you put your name on that video as UAP?
No.
Would you put your name on? No, you wouldn't.
No, any weird video I'm not sure about, I say that. I'm like, I don't know what this is. You know, this could
Not
totally
him.
be CGI or whatever. But
He'll
check
tell
it
you.
out.
He'll tell you now. He said, I'm not saying it's anything anomalous, but this anomalous vehicle thing right here. He said that in a couple of his videos. Isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, like the Bruga orb. Like I did an episode on that, but I made it very clear that this thing could definitely not be real. Like this could 100% be fake. The
Jake
news
Barber
guy
egg
that covers it is like the worst shill in Mexico of fake shit.
Jaime Malzahn. You talking about Jaime Malzahn?
Oh, got hundreds of fake stuff out there. Literally hundreds.
Jaime is like Luis Elizondo. He is like George Knapp. He's like Jeremy Corbell, David Wilcock, and biggest piece of shit in every world. I know I mentioned a mansion though, but it's huge.
No, his house is so weird, dude.
Is it dirt?
It's like this. It looks like he's a hobbit almost. It's super strange, but
that is like Jaime Malzahn.
So Ash Forbes. I mean, that's the thing. You know. Your mind goes right to like Luis Elizondo and all those cats, because that's how you see them, as like just running a long con, right? Running a con that they never really have to answer for. They can always point to this mysterious or
it's always they can always pass it off on somebody else.
It's the FBI, it's the Men in Black, it's the aliens, it's whatever. But we're sure about this, right?
Yeah. Hey, it's trust me, bro. I've seen them pictures.
I'm the gatekeeper. Yeah, I'm the gatekeeper.
Yeah,
that's what really turned me off about the recent video was, you know, them putting in that position of gatekeeper. Like, if it doesn't come through us, probably ain't true, folks. Well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Because
how crazy is that?
Is that how you started your career, George Knapp? By saying, you know, like that's not where you started. That's where you're at now. But
Travis Taylor, I done another video on Travis Taylor saying some crazy stuff too. Travis Taylor said that remember Jeremy Corbell released that the green triangles when it was bokeh from an out of focus lens when he tried to say there were triangle vehicles
like
up there.
Yeah, no, infrared.
Night vision.
I think.
It was night
vision. Night vision.
Yeah, and it was proved to be like I can get my.
They use the triangles to cover something else or something.
Well, no, what it is like I'll show you right here. Look. So, all right. So this is a DSLR. Like so, my DSLR. Like if you look, and because this is a Canon and it's a little bit better lens. Whenever like on them night vision lenses that like they have their like he was putting it up to his iPhone and it's just like this little thing that you I guess clip on there. So yeah, you know like whenever you probably can't see it, but you know like that little it like it's round right there.
It's an orb.
Yeah, don't tell anybody. But anyway, that's round. Okay, well, if that thing right there, that's the reason whenever something goes out of focus, it's round. It'll be round because that aperture is round right there. But in those cheap ones, the aperture is made out of a triangle because the cheapest thing that you can do is make a slide that closes kind of like that right there out of a triangle. So if that thing is a triangle, when it gets out of focus, everything else will be a triangle shape. So that's what was going on in that video. But Travis Taylor, he said that he called like the debunkers and all that stuff, didn't know what the hell they're talking about. And he's an optical physicist. And he said that was, that wasn't, I can put some triangle on here right now and make that thing triangle or just put it on the side and everything will come out triangle, the bokehs.
And Travis Taylor said he bought it. He thought it was real.
Yeah, there's a video. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, he you can see there's a good interview with him and George Knapp. I did a couple videos on it, like of some of my older stuff. But yeah, like he said some pretty outlandish things. That's why.
Wild, man.
Yeah, but see, guys, but see, like I want people to find this stuff out. Like I want you to go do your homework, dude, and I want you to prove me wrong. Like that's what I want you to do. I want everybody that if you're watching this video, go prove me wrong on this stuff that I'm saying. Like if you can't find this kind of stuff, feel free to email me, get a hold to Gabriel, you know, or just comment down below. I'm sure I'll probably check comments in this video being like, but like, yeah, but so like if you guys want to reach out to me and you need this information, like I don't mind passing this stuff off you guys. Cause like, I want you to do your research to like, like prove me wrong.
The thing there are cases out there that are pretty substantial that are really head scratchers, you know?
There is.
But get wary of or worry about, or what sends red flags up for me, is when somebody puts himself in that position. Like, I know the truth, because I know the real deal. I know who's who and what's what, and unless I say it, don't buy it.
Yeah.
You know,
and that all I hear is that whenever he says people say something like that is, don't listen to a word that I say, guys, because I'm fixing to feed you a bunch of bullshit.
It's a big turnoff, right?
Yep,
it's a big and it's weird because it's not really an approach I've heard George Knapp take before. Like, I've heard George Knapp be wrong, but I've never heard George Knapp be like, no, I'm the only one that's right. I've never heard him take that stance, which is weird.
Bob, Bob Lazar, the ones that Bob Lazar like supposedly took these lie detector tests. He took his lie detector test, right? And they say that he passed them and all that. He didn't pass them. He didn't pass those tests. Yes, no. One of them was inconclusive. One person out of 4 people said that he passed it, and it was the guy that gave it to him. But he brought it to his colleagues after that, and every one of them said that Bob was lying. So Terry, his name is Terry Tavernetti.
Okay.
The guy.
What about, to go back to Travis Walton, what about all his partners that passed the test?
They didn't. Well,
that's documented. They passed it. There was one where I think that had questionable results, but
I think
they all basically
you gotta understand something. Like, they were all scared, right? So don't get me wrong. Let me get it. You can pass lie detector test, dude. Lie detector test is not what people think it is. Like, I done it. I done
loggers in Washington in the 80s. There wasn't no YouTube. There wasn't no.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? Something like, they might have saw something strange, like, because they said that's what one of them came out like later on. I think he retracted it, but he said what happened was they seen something, and it was turned out to be a watchtower, a fire watchtower out there, but there was not a fire on it, but there was a light on it they saw, and it either looked weird or something. And then they concocted this plan because, like, it scared some of them, so they just went along with it. And like, I don't think that the person that was giving them the lie detector test, because the lie detector test is all about the person giving it. That's who's going to tell you if you failed it or not. And if it's on human beings, we're fallible, dude. We're not very good at this kind of thing. Yeah. Like, you can buy a lie detector test, and this is like stuff I want to do videos on and stuff, because there's technology that, like, that you can that they have, the eye technology, but you can get a camera. But I want to be able to do it during these right here. I want to, but I have a meter where it's like, is this person lying to me or not?
Have them. They have them.
Yeah, but I mean, that's like, I wonder if, like,
it's just not available to the public. Like, when I went in the service, I was in radio operations, communications, and that's one thing that was crazy.
That's what I went to That's what I went to college for, dude. Was communications.
Dude, the technology that we had was 30 years old in 2001, and the technology that we had could wirelessly stream 100 gigabytes a second, and that was 30 years old. Yes. Shit. In 2000. So that means they had it in the 70s. In the 70s, they could do what we're doing right now. The Army could.
It's probably a lot more robust, a lot bigger. Like, it's probably, the stuff wasn't as small as it is. Like,
it's like, I mean, one radio is, it's Army proof. So inside of it, the components are this big, but you have to make it Army proof. So it's this big, because I guess that's throw shit.
Yeah, I guess that's how you do things. That's why everything like battleships is like aluminum, and because I know somebody powder coated the keyboard things for the ships and stuff. It was, I guess, the thing slid out or something like that. But he powder coated all those metal aluminum things on that.
Oh yeah, got to make it sailor proof, dude, waterproof. But yeah, in the Army, you got to make everything soldier proof. So everything's bigger than it needs to be, just because it gets treated like shit for 20 years, But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you think of that they're at least 30 to 50 years ahead of us technology wise, as far as what they'll release to the public, because they use that for spycraft. I mean, that's, they don't want that out there. And maybe that's the UAP thing, maybe it's this technology that they'd rather have Lou out there making a fortune because they like him, spreading whatever, narrative he wants to spread, than people knowing the truth.
and like I said, that's always plausible, and it's always in the cards. But like this is where I always would tell people just to resort back to the Occam's razor again. Is like, how many times in the world have we proven that alien has landed or that this technology, and how many times have people said it, and how many times has it came true? Against how many times people have lied, and how many times it's all been hoaxed, and people like, if you quantify that, it's 100% already. Like, there's not been any kind of evidence that is foolproof. Like, hey, alien guys, and like there's never been once, but there's always been.
I mean, there's the case in Brazil that James Fox covered.
But see that guy. If you watch the Y-Files, he destroyed that. AJ destroyed that. Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to check
that was an old bum that they even had a picture of an old bum, and he was just like, he was greasy, dude. And he's like, had his shirt off his head. He looked like an alien, dude. And I don't know why. He looked, but he was a drunk, an old drunk, and he scared the kids. There
was a lot of people saw something crash. The crash site had clearly been sprayed down with something.
A meteor or probably something fell from the witnesses. There's stuff that falls from the space all the time, like, and NASA will go retrieve it, or the Russia will, like, they want to get that stuff. Like,
but why would they clean up the landing spot?
Yeah, because you can't leave an environmental disaster out there. You got to clean up your mess if you drop out of orbit. They know who dropped out of orbit. Trust me, they know what's up there. They know,
man. He just had so many people that saw these things, smelled this thing.
Man, I don't think, like, again, all this stuff can be passed off as like either like one person heard that telephone game. Man, did you see that? And then this person's like, I was with him, and we both saw it. Just because he said he saw it, that's what happened. Everybody wants to be the one that saw it. Nobody wants to be like, I heard from that, because nobody's going to listen to you. But if you say, yeah, I trust this guy, I saw it too. We were fucking standing right here, and when it was really that guy saw something crazy, maybe saw a meteor or something, but like, it gets so convoluted that these stories get so crazy that, you know, it turns into all this, like what you said, and then all of a sudden, like, somebody gets a hold of it, and then it gets like put out there, and like people get attached to it, and then it grows, and then like everybody wants to make money off. People start making money off of it, and then all of a sudden it's this big thing, dude. I'm sure that James Woods made a shitload off that movie.
All right, let me switch it up here. I had a thought when I was doing all this research on MK Ultra, and I'm listening to these witnesses testify about being, essentially abducted when they're little 9 and 10 years old, being brainwashed through drugs and hypnosis and electroshock therapy and just all this terrible stuff, made to learn how to seduce grown men at 9 years old. I mean, this woman testified to this, just absolutely disgusting. But it got me to thinking, like, isn't that what Epstein Island was?
I don't think we really ever know. I think what it is, man, is he was a sick bastard, and he was a rich guy, and he was involved. He worked for like Mossad or something, and he was involved in like, was like setting up, like trying to get as much dirt and stuff on people, and it was just playing that espionage game. And then maybe he had some sick fetishes, and he'd done some sick shit because he's a rich weirdo, and they're trying to hide all that stuff, and some of it's leaking out, and like maybe some rich powerful people like are gonna look bad, you know. Like, I don't believe Trump was there. He's already proved that Trump was never there. Trump was never been on the plane, never been on the island. But Trump, you know, he went party with him a long time ago before they knew him of being a pedophile and stuff like that. But like, I do believe he's just a sick bastard, and like, you know, people are just kind of blown over. I believe he killed himself. I don't believe he was killed, like, because he knew he was going to be spending the rest of his life. He's going to be spending the rest of his life in prison.
Fell asleep at the same time.
There's a whole bunch of dumb bastards at work there, dude. There's a whole bunch of lazy bastards and cheap fucking people that don't want to pay for anything, and cameras break all the time, dude, in places.
High profile guy on Suicide Watch.
I bet you if I was a high profile in there and people watching me, I bet you I could kill myself.
Oh man, that's discouraging.
With a case this high profile, there's got to be either major malfunction of the system or a criminal enterprise at foot to allow this to happen. So are you looking at both? Is the FBI looking at both?
If the FBI is involved, then they are looking at criminal enterprise, yes. Sir, we take every inmate's life very seriously in the Bureau of Prisons. A high-profile inmate is no more important or significant in terms of our operations than just the average inmate that comes our way.
When I mean high profile, somebody's on a suicide watch.
I would like to explain our suicide watch system, if I may. I can't talk specifically about Epstein. A stark, very difficult setting where everything is stripped from the room except a mattress. They get a coarse gown-like to wear that cannot be twisted in any way that they could hang themselves from it. They have one mattress and one blanket, and they are watched constantly. There's nothing else in that room.
Was Mr. Epstein on suicide watch?
Yes, he was.
This is always what you need to, what I always think the good thing is like, that's probably, it's best to look what's happening, not going on with Epstein while they're talking about Epstein. There's something else going on in the background. Like they're trying to hide. Hey guys, look at Epstein.
Releasing the list.
Yeah, like guys, look at you. Well, I'm just saying, but they're making that the story when the real story is probably some war that's happening they don't want you to know about. So they're trying to hide it by putting up, guys, Epstein killed himself. Guys, look at this, and they're painting everything with Epstein when they're maybe like we invaded a country or something. They just don't want you to know, or we done something dirty, and they're just hiding it.
Yeah, there's been a lot of theories, you know, like you were saying, the Mossad thing. Maybe he's getting ammo on these powerful people that hold powerful positions in the United States in case they need to strong arm us into backing them, you know, because over the last couple of decades, you've seen America on some Israeli issues be less supportive than we typically have been.
And see, you know that Virginia Dufresne girl, the one that was the Epstein accuser, she just died, right? Just suicided herself like the other day.
After a really weird Instagram post.
Well, but check this out though. See, people didn't know this right here. Well, I guess people didn't know, but if you watch, you can see she had a history of Xanax abuse, which means that she was depressed all the time, and she was probably hating her life because she was a center of attention of being a whore, and she probably didn't like it. And she had problems with her husband, and her husband like were separated, estranged, and she probably was suicidal because, dude, I've dealt with people like that, and it's not very hard for people to lose it, man, and like to lose their sense of who they are, whenever like something tragic like that happens, like. People just shell up, and like some people like go with drugs, some people go with alcohol, some people go with whatever their vice is. But it was way like she killed herself, you know, and like she probably just wants people to think it's something more than it is. Like, hey guys, I'm gonna kill myself, but I'm gonna leave it, make it a mystery. Like, I'm gonna put this crazy, but because people, you know, people are like that. You know, people want to know, like want people to know that hey, I'm suffering.
That whole thing is just so awful. You know, just nothing but victims left and right, and nobody to answer for it. You know,
I believe,
what did Maxwell get? She got like 20 years or something. I don't
think she'll ever get out of prison. I don't think she'll ever get out of prison. I think she got 40 years. I don't think she'll ever get out of prison.
I feel like in 10 years, there's going to be a Maxwell documentary on Netflix about how she was just a victim, and then they're going to be like pushing it because it's like they're trying to get the Menendez kids out. Like, y'all blasted your parents with a shotgun. I don't care how sad your story is. Like,
my mother said, insane. She said those two need to rot in hell. She's like, they blew their mom away just because they didn't want her to have to deal with.
And it was so violent, dude. Like, it was just so violent. Like, it wasn't like a quick, you know, we'll slip them a drug or a quick shot to the back of the head.
What's funny is, they thought they could get away with it, and the way they were acting is what got them caught because they're dumbasses, dude. They didn't understand. Like, how did we get caught?
They're kids.
Yeah, because people don't realize we all do dumb stuff. That's where the Dunning-Kruger thing comes in. Like we think that we have the answer. You know, where that came from was that, you know, the guy that had put lemon juice on his face and robbed the bank because he heard that lemon juice is used for an invisible
camera.
Ink. Yeah. He couldn't, and that's why they did that study, the Dunning-Kruger, is because they were so fascinated because he didn't understand why his logic wasn't sound and straight, of why that didn't work. He couldn't understand the flaw in his logic, and they were intrigued. They were like, this guy couldn't understand it, like, but it's just that fascinating effect of like he thinks he can outsmart somebody whenever you really have no clue, like what the hell's going on in the world. To think, and people think that they're the smartest people in the world, and they're really the dumbest people in the world.
We all do, right? Like we all want to think like we're special, and we
the smartest people in the world they know that there's a lot more information that they don't know, so they can say that, man, I don't know anything. Those people are the people that they understand a little bit more, because it takes, like there's so much information out there, like it make your brain explode if you had all of it. So like
it's crazy
about everything. Every subject has that with it too. So to say you're a professional, for me to even say, hey guys, I'm a body language expert and I'm on this right here. I think highly of myself, because like I study and stuff like that, but I'm still flawed. I mean, I'm not going to get it right every time. I'm still infallible and stuff like that. But like I think I'm good at what I do, and so. But I could be wrong. I haven't proved me wrong yet, and I've been doing it for quite a number of years. So yeah, but I don't like to
go to
people
a
satellite.
UFO convention and hold up a fake UFO photo. That's probably true.
No, I definitely. I probably would to troll it, dude. Like, did you hear the story? Like one of my videos I did, and I don't know if you probably, so if you didn't saw it, you need to go watch it. But it's about it's about the Nick Aliverdi and the guy the guy who faked his own death. First he raped a girl here, then he faked his own death. He R's these two girls, right? And then he flies over to first he says he tells everybody he's got cancer, and his wife, this fake obituary, goes over to England, and then he becomes this English person, and then he's in a wheelchair from COVID. They matched his tattoos, his DNA, his fingerprints, everything about him, and he still to this day denies that he's that person. They just they just flew him from Ireland or England to Utah to stand trial. He still says that he is Arthur Knight. He's not Nick Aliverdian. He said that they put tattoos on him. They done that to him in the hospital. But my point for this right here is, if that guy stood up and said, you know what, I was trolling you guys, dude. You really thought I had you guys, that would be boss. That would be like, I'd be like, respect, dude.
He won't do that though.
He definitely won't, because he's stupid. Because he's stupid, and he really thinks his logic is sound by thinking that the DNA, we have DNA, all this. He can sell his story. His wife's right there with him. If you have a chance, go watch it. It's the Nick Aliverdi story I got on my channel. Yeah. It's good. It's pretty good.
I'll have to check it out. But it's crazy. Like some of these cats are smarter than the local DA. And so they can get away with, we had a guy in our own town get away with murder right in front of everyone, because less than 3 years later murdered another girl. That's because you messed up the first time and let her back out on the streets.
But like these little crazy shits that like people have, that they're trying to technicalities on stuff. You need to be we need to be educated on that kind of stuff. Like fine print. Anybody who puts stuff in fine print is a scumbag, dude. Remember, I said that. Anybody who puts stuff in fine print is a scumbag. Period. Please don't ever put anything as false. I won't call you.
I was just gonna say, now I'm gonna have a website that has this fine print on it. I'm gonna get blasted in the comments. Yeah. It's true though. I mean, the fine print is by and for the lawyers. You know what I mean?
I'm also talking about, like, if they sell you something or they're selling something on TV, and it's that little thing that says this is going to be $900 and it with a subscription fee is what it's going to be only a month free. But it's really tiny and you can't see that. Like, why didn't they say that? Why didn't you say that at the beginning? Like,
well, this is like the Uber thing. Did you hear about the Uber? Oh my Lord, man. So the Uber terms of conditions that you agree to is based out of like Sweden or something. And it says, if you want to sue us, you have to come to Sweden and settle differences the way that we do it in Sweden.
An arbitrary court or something?
Yeah.
An arbitrary.
Yeah. I know. And it's like, what? But you're doing business here. So like, how does that work?
There's some kind of loophole that some asshole, this law system we have, they figured out a system, because that's all it is lawfare and garbage of who knows the most, has the most money, and can research the best.
Absolutely.
It's a shit show, dude.
That's why you pay so much in taxes. That's why GE probably paid less than you paid in taxes last year. Here's what I'd be in favor of: a technology that can disable guns or bullets in certain perimeters. That's what I'd be in favor of. So you walk into school, it doesn't matter how many guns you have, they won't shoot.
You know what I don't understand? Why don't we have something that can shoot a fucking net that cops use to catch people when they run, or just to catch them when they come at them with a knife or something? Why don't they employ it? But why don't
they'd
they
rather
employ
just
it?
shoot them. It's easier, cheaper.
Yeah, I mean,
A bullet's like 50 cents.
I think that there should be some kind of technology, dude, that you can shoot and just incapacitate anybody doing anything.
My dad's a retired cop.
Yes.
Did he, when you were a kid, did he raise you around in that environment with other cops?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And you think cops are good?
Yeah. Yes. I know for a fact the moral majority of them are good because they don't like
the majority?
Good cops. Yes, good cops do not want a bad cop. I promise you, dude. Most cops have integrity, but there are a few that get through their shitheads and make bad decisions.
My dad was a cop too for like 20-something years.
Also, I didn't know that. That's good.
Yeah, I know. I was saving it.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
He raised me in that environment as well. So I was a kid in the cop locker room. Yeah. And I would say the exact opposite.
You would say the opposite?
Yes. I would say the majority were shitheads.
I would think,
but it was rare to find a good one.
This is where I think we were raised at would come big time into play.
Probably.
Because I'm from the South and a lot of people around here, dude, everybody has manners and everybody's a lot nicer.
Your word means a lot more down there.
Yes, it does. And up there, it's too fast. People don't give a shit. People don't really. So
up
like
here,
there's probably
somebody says, "Yeah, I'll see you Friday at that thing." They don't fucking mean it. When I was in Louisiana, you say I'm gonna be there Friday at that thing. You better die not getting there or something.
That's why, dude.
You said you were gonna be there.
That's how I am, bro. If I tell you something and I'm late, you better call the cops because there's something fucking wrong. If I haven't got a hold of you or something, then there's something wrong, dude.
Let's wrap this up. I know. So we talked about you being a magician. Can you show us a magic trick?
I would say I'm more of a mentalist than anything. But yeah, I mean, all right. Actually, let me grab my sheet of paper.
Right on.
I got a pen right here. I got a pencil right here. All right, so okay, being that we've been talking this whole time and stuff and I think I know you pretty well and like. So what I'm gonna do is like, I'm just gonna tell you something, and then I'm gonna ask you just a question, right? So, but the question I'm gonna ask you just say pretty much first thing that comes to your mind, and then then I'm gonna ask you for a couple numbers and stuff like that. And then we're gonna go into another thing too. You'll understand what I'm doing. Okay, so check this out. How many kids do you have? Did you say you had
two?
Two.
Yeah.
Okay, and what high school? What was the name of the high school? Just the first name, like. What was your high school name you went to?
Roseburg.
Roseburg. Oh, Roseburg.
Yep.
All right. Do you know the name of the guy who went to the moon first?
Neil Armstrong.
Ah, good. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here. Okay, so I got two things written down right here. All right, I got two things written down. Here's my pencil, so you don't think that I'm fucking writing anything down or anything. I can show you here.
All right.
Okay, so, all right, so I want you to give me a name. All right, you know how like people have nicknames and stuff like. So we'll say like Rob is short for Robert, and and like
I go by Gabe.
Gabe is the perfect.
Gabe short for Gabriel. Okay.
So give me a name. Give me a name that you can do that with. That probably has anywhere 3 letters. If you get one with 3 letters in there, that would be fine. Just say a name.
Tom.
Okay. Tom. Now, and I'm going to give you a chance. Like, would you ever want to change that answer? Like, but I'll give you one chance to change it. You can change it if you want to, but you don't. But you don't have to. You don't have to. But if you don't want to change it, don't change it.
No, I'm good.
Okay, cool. All right, so give me 3 numbers, really fast.
269.
Okay, cool. Stick with that. Do you remember the numbers you said?
What?
Right? So, listen. Remember that. So check this out. Remember the numbers. All right, so you had that. So you had that. This is gonna. You think I blows your mind? Check this out. You know that. All right. So you said 269, right? So
Yeah.
Get your if you grab your calculator out real quick. Grab your calculator out. This is
I'll have to do my computer calculator. Okay.
Okay. So get your calculator out. Take 96. Okay. So your number was 269. Take 962 and minus 269 from it. Which those are your numbers, correct? That's what you said. Your numbers.
Yep.
Those are your numbers. Okay. Now minus that.
Okay.
Yeah, and whatever that equals, I want you to take that and flip that around, kind of like you just did that first one, and add those two together.
Okay.
All right. And then that's going to have an answer. Don't tell me the answer, but does it have a 4-letter? Does it have a 4-number answer?
Yes.
Your number has a 4 number. On my credit card, is that number?
What?
That's messed up. My Cash App card, dude, has your number. Like, it has a number that your numbers came out. They're like, that is. But is this your card? This ain't your card or anything. Like, and just always remember something, dude. It's nothing magical that anybody's doing. But I'll tell you what, guys, if you really want to get into this, go back in this video, just maybe 15, 20 minutes back in the video, and you'll be able to figure out what I'm doing if you just listen to what I'm saying. And then, like, just right before he asked me to do the magic trick thing, like right there, just kind of listen to what I'm saying before the segments before that right there.
Dude, I'm going to be listening when I edit.
Yeah.
What
don't
the
think
hell
too hard.
just happened?
Yeah, don't think too hard on it. It's not like it is. It's not really like it's so dumb that you're gonna like I don't know, like I don't want to root for anybody, but I'm sure like you're a smart guy. One day you figure it out because your viewers will probably
until I do now.
You probably got a smart viewership, dude. So just if they go back and just watch it, you'll be able to see what I did because I'm not that slick. All right.
Okay, cool. Y'all heard it. If you find it, put it in the comments. I want to know. I want to catch it. Wild, man. But Ryan, dude, thank you so much, man. This was such a fun conversation, dude. Everything from like how you got into this stuff and your history to like all these whistleblowers and bunch of other crazy stuff. We even divulged who the time traveling Tim Taylor is, to a breaking story. I mean, this is awesome, dude. I can't wait to put this out for folks to watch. And I can't wait to work with you more in the future, dude.
Yeah, I had a blast, dude. You have a good thing going on, man. Just keep doing what you're doing, dude. Like stay inquisitive, and your viewers stay inquisitive. If you guys want to get in touch with me, like he'll put it down, I guess, in the description below. But, check my channel out. Always support Gabriel. Check us out on X, guys. Mine's Ryan's Point of Failure, just like it is on here, and then Gabriel's is that. Like, just check us out, and stick into the conversation. Keep going the good work. You'll definitely figure it out. But yeah, I had fun, man. I appreciate you having me on and being interested in anything that I do, because I'm the only one that's ever interested in it. So like, I don't know about that, man. You got
quite a few subscribers and a lot of likes, and your stuff is super exciting. And we're gonna take us out on one of your shorts. Thanks everyone for watching. Gabriel Speaks. Easy, guys. We'll see you next time.
Later, guys.
My craft is damaged. I need some material to repair it. Do you have any tantalum? And I was like, is that titanium? He's like, no. I need some repair material. Do you know where I could find some tritium? And this is what he's talking to me about. And I'm like, you mean titanium?